All.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Clearly indignant at the start of his non-jury fraud trial in New York, former President Trump says the only fraud that has been committed is this case against him.
Trump spent part of Monday in court where he and his company are accused of deceiving banks and others by lying about his wealth in financial statements. Outside the courtroom, the ex-president called the New York Attorney General a racist, said the judge was rogue, and blamed the Justice Department for orchestrating the legal action against him.
White House correspondent Greg Clugston says the judge already has ruled that Mr. Trump committed fraud in business dealings. That's something the former president steadfastly denies. And while conducting a front-running presidential campaign, running a business empire, and facing other legal challenges, Mr. Trump due back in that New York courtroom today. A federal judge is set to rule in a high-profile Second Amendment case out of Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Advocates for gun rights have filed a barrage of challenges to Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham's 30-day emergency public health order, which the sheriff and Albuquerque's police chief have refused to enforce. It originally included broad restrictions on carrying guns in public, but after some serious pushback, Lujan Grisham amended the order to most public parks and playgrounds. A federal judge last month granted a temporary restraining order, but the judge said in a recent court filing that restrictions on gun activity where children play, quote, may very well be constitutional, end quote. I'm Donna Warder.
3 people have been killed in a mall shooting in Bangkok. A suspect's in custody. The sound of gunfire sent panicked shoppers running for their lives. Watching Wall Street, Dow futures down 164 points. NASDAQ futures off 125. Head of this morning's Wall Street opening bell. More on these stories at townhall.com.
The Angie's List you know and trust is now Angie, and we're so much more than just a list. We still connect you with top local pros and show you ratings and reviews, but now we also let you compare upfront prices on hundreds of projects and book a service instantly. We can even handle the rest of your project from start to finish. So remember, Angie's List is now Angie, and we're here to get your job done right. Get started at Angie.com. That's ANGI, or download the app today.
My name is Jason Hansen. I'm a former CIA officer and New York Times bestselling author. You can protect your hard-earned retirement assets with a tax-free loophole that allows you to convert your retirement into physical gold and silver. Advantage Gold is the nation's highest-rated gold company. They have the best process, pricing, and service. If you want to get your free gold and silver investment kit, please contact Advantage Gold right now. Call 800-900-8000. That's 800-900-8000.
Advantage Gold is not an investment advisor or a tax advisor. Consult with your financial advisor before investing.
Call 800-900-8000.
Taiwan has issued a weather alert as Typhoon Koinu approaches. Could make landfall later in the week, bringing gales and downpours to the southeastern reaches of the island.
The Weather Bureau put out a land warning after issuing a sea alert late on Monday. Koinu's moving northwest with sustained winds of 100 mph near its center. Forecasters expect it to bring strong winds and downpours to southern and eastern parts of Taiwan early on Wednesday and potentially make landfall in the southeastern parts of the island on Thursday. In the Philippines, which avoided the typhoon's direct hit, the Weather Bureau has issued storm alerts in at least 6 northern provinces and warned of possible flooding and landslides, especially in mountainous regions. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
Britain's inquiry into the response to the pandemic and its impact on the nation has entered a second phase, with political decision-making taking center stage, such as the timing of lockdowns. Townhall.com. Following his suspension, the Kansas police chief who led an August raid on a small weekly newspaper has resigned.
Okay, all of these back here are tagged.
Body camera video shows a police officer rifling through the desk drawer of a Marion County Record reporter who was investigating Marion Police Chief Gideon Cody. The officer asking the chief,
I'm asking, do you want to look through this desk?
The mayor suspended Cody last week, reasons not made public.
The server over there has a hard drive laying on top. That's the main thing we need to know where it's plugged in.
The resignation comes weeks after a local prosecutor said there wasn't sufficient evidence to justify the search of the paper or searches at the same time of the publisher's home and that of a city council members. I'm Ben Thomas.
A not guilty plea expected today from Hunter Biden as he returns to a Delaware courtroom to face federal firearms charges. More on these stories, townhall.com.
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Tuesday, everybody.
Yes, sir.
Did it rain yesterday? Like, in all fairness, did it actually rain yesterday? Because I don't recall seeing it.
I don't know if it rained. It was enough to get my windshield all messed up.
I see some puddles and I see some moisture on the streets coming in, but I'm like, did it actually even rain? Like, I know other areas got storms and some tornado warnings.
No,
and my
you know what
phone was
happened?
blowing up all night, but I didn't see any rain here.
You know what happened? It was cloudy and cool and nice all day. The parade, I heard so many people say this was the nicest parade they've been to in years because of the weather.
Good.
Because it was cool. But then, right at like 4:30, the clouds started to part, the sun came out, and it was humid as hell. I was out setting up for the broadcast last night at the fair, just drenched
in sweat.
Luckily, we're not cooped up in the trailer this year.
Oh, you're in the commercial building.
We get to be out amongst the people. It was kind of nice to be in the sea of humanity.
Yeah. So National Furniture Liquidators, they're hanging out with in their booth all week.
Yeah.
Here, so.
Right across from the Republican candidate booth.
Oh, okay. They're in the commercial.
So I chatted with Andrea for a good portion of last night.
Nice.
Yeah.
They bring a bed. Like any of the
National Furniture Liquidators?
Yeah.
Oh, they brought a bed. They brought a couch.
Can you do the show from the bed?
I actually asked. I was like, can we just like use the couch instead of? But we just decided
they didn't
we
want
opted
our dirty
for
butts on
chairs. No, but here's the thing. Okay, so here's our table, right?
Mm-hmm.
Here's the Republican candidate booth. Here's National Furniture Liquidators. Here is the opening of the Republican booth. So if you've been to the commercial building, you know there's a sign that says "Register to vote today." With a cardboard cutout of Donald Trump and a cardboard cutout of Ronald Reagan.
Oh, wow.
Okay, hold on. So you got that to my left.
Yeah.
To my immediate right, you have a gigantic, and I mean gigantic, like the size of the picture in my office, picture of Jesus Christ.
Wow.
Like crown of thorns, tears streaming down his face, blonde-haired, blue-eyed Jesus. So I'm trapped between Trump and Jesus. So you know I gotta be pure.
You want to borrow something?
You should just take Big Flat Mike.
BFM can come out with you.
Oh my God. Dude, I kind of want to do that. I just want to put Big Flat Mike in between Trump and Reagan.
Well, if you need BFM for anything, take him. He's right there.
Admittedly, it is odd when you have to under your armpit. You're carrying a
just going
Big
to the
Flat
fair.
Mike.
How you doing?
Hey, how's it going? How's it going?
Oh, that's too funny. Well, yeah, so you can see Sean all week out at the fair in the commercial building. Look for him between Donald Trump, Ronald Reagan, and Jesus.
And Jesus. It was, though. And here's the thing. Like, all of their eyes will follow you wherever you go. They're watching you. Like, I get that National Furniture Liquidators was trying to sell some of their decor. That was not the decor I want. I'm sorry. There's no way I'm going to hang that big of a picture of Jesus in my house.
You know,
I don't want him to see my shame.
Everybody's got their proclivities, man. I mean, in the 70s, I saw more roadside stands of velvet paintings of Elvis and Jesus that sold a ton of them.
We had a velvet.
So people love them.
We had a velvet Daffy Duck, I believe.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So there is a niche for all these things. So
it's true. It is true. But yeah, we're inside the commercial building. I wished I would have figured out where we were located before I started hauling like 60 pounds of equipment around, because I'm walking through the commercial building with like a bucket and 2 laptops hanging off me like, does anybody know where National Furniture Liquidators booth is?
And perhaps the first aid tent.
And a clean pair of shorts. But yeah, no, it was, once we got everything set up, got a table, got some chairs, it was nice. Nice to be in the sea of humanity.
There you go. And always 3 steps away from a beverage or food, which is very good. So, yeah. Yep. So, day 2 of the fair gets underway today. Don't forget, today is Ride 'em Cowboy Day. Unlimited ride armband.
That's right. $25 for your armbands.
$25. Everybody 2 and over, that's what you get. And you get that armband to go with you riding today.
Weirdly, no cowboys to ride. No? I looked into it. There's rides, no cowboys. There's not till Friday.
Not till Friday.
Yeah. Even then, they'd appreciate it if you wouldn't ride them.
I think it's not ride the cowboy. It's ride 'em.
Cowboy.
Cowboy.
Ride 'em, comma, cowboy. Punctuation is really so important in Western colloquialism.
It is. It's like, well, it's. I tell the Benny story every single time in their jingle. It makes me laugh because you
could have a conversation with that jingle.
It tells you everything they got, but there's at the very beginning of the Benny's jingle, it's at Benny's Western Wear in Artesia.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And I'm just every time I know they're saying
you're welcome. We're in Benny's Western Store.
But to me, I hear like we got Benny's.
Here. You're welcome.
You're welcome. We gave you Benny's.
Cocky son of guns.
That's always the way I interpret it. But anyway, all about commas.
I dig it.
Let me give you the rundown.
A sentence like, let's eat, Grandma, without a comma is, let's eat, Grandma.
Exactly. Commas are very important.
I agree.
We do have a full slate for you today. Robert Sherman with Walker Aviation Museum will join us in just a few minutes, give us an update on what's happening at the museum. He pops in, the museum does, members of the museum, not the whole museum, pops in once a month. They give us an update, so we'll get that from Robert here in just a few. In the 8 o'clock hour, we're going to have the folks from the Chaves County Health Council. I'm not sure if it's going to be Emily and Carissa again, or Joanne, or some combination thereof. But they've got a big suicide prevention event happening on the 10th. And that's going to be at Encanto Event Center, which is at 1010 South Main. It's going to be a event, suicide, Talk to Save Lives, first annual suicide prevention and conference, awareness and prevention conference. So they're going to have a bunch of stuff. So they'll join us to talk about that here in the 8 o'clock hour. And then in the 9 o'clock hour, about 9:15 or so, Lori Schott's going to join us, talk about some upcoming things, I believe, through Kiwanis, maybe even some communal theater as well, too. So that and plus your news, features, all the things we normally do, and whatever else we can come up with for today's show.
I just took a weird trip down Main. I'm like, where's 1010 South Main? Why does it sound so familiar? Yeah, I know where it's at. Have you seen the Kevin James picture that's been blowing up online?
Maybe.
Okay, so
I've seen several Kevin James things
over
lately
the weekend
on the internet.
A headshot of Kevin James from right around the King of Queens era was released online.
Yeah.
The face that he's making in this picture can only be described as, I want to be liked. It's like this. He's got this like, aw shucks, like hands in pockets, open button down shirt with a white shirt underneath it, kind of slight smile.
I've seen the picture, but I've only seen like the Photoshopped people have done to that picture on various things. Like there was a couple timely news things over the weekend that people crowbarred that Kevin James thing. So I don't think I've seen it like in its au naturel form.
Here's the thing. We live in very dark times. We live in very divisive times. But I'm so thankful for the internet because they can take something that's nothing and make it gold. I've seen so much amazing, like my friend at the bar likes you, his friend at the bar. It's just, there's so many great memes that have come from one Kevin James headshot. That's why I love the internet, because you can just take something that's nothing and make it something.
Yeah, I saw other Photoshops to that photo that made me laugh that weren't necessarily radio friendly.
Admittedly, I saw one where it was the Kevin James headshot, but made up to look like a woman. Not gonna lie, I would.
Looking at him like
I'm looking at him like
okay. Right.
They did a real good job with the Photoshop. That's all I'm saying. All right.
I'm looking and I'm liking it.
It was filled out in all the right pots.
Well, good deal. So, Kevin James.
He could truly be the king of queens.
Fetching.
He is fetching. I have a type. What?
He's a bear.
Well, I certainly ain't a twink. Oh, you already did the rundown. All right.
I'm done the rundown. It is 7:15. Let us bask in what is the weather. You know what? The rain? Pretty much. I mean, now there's like a little chance on Friday now, but I think we're done with rain. It's just smooth sailing the rest of the week. So here's your weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Pretty warm today. Sunshine with high pressure moving in for a little while. It might be breezy. Our afternoon high will be in the upper 80s. For the overnight hours, maybe a few clouds, upper 50s and low 60s. We do have a little system moving back in on Wednesday. Could bring us a few showers. Mix of sunshine and clouds, and we'll stay in the mid 80s. We're back to sunny weather on Thursday, low 80s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 66 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 90%, hence that humidity thing Sean was talking about. Winds out of the south at 5 miles per hour. They say we could see a little bit of fog out there this morning before 8 o'clock. Otherwise, partly cloudy, gradually becoming sunny today. Highs of 89 expected with southwest winds at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tonight, skies will be clear with an overnight low of 56 degrees. Southwest winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. Wednesday, sunny, high of 84 tomorrow. Winds out of the west 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow night, mostly clear with an overnight low of 58 degrees. North winds at around 10 miles per hour. Thursday, sunny, high of 82. Winds out of the north 5 to 10 miles per hour. Thursday night, clear skies, overnight low of 56. Friday, they're now saying a 20% chance at some showers and thunderstorms. Otherwise, mostly sunny. 78 for a high on Friday. 20% chance of rain Friday night as well. Mostly cloudy, overnight low of 56. Saturday, partly cloudy, 73 for a high. Saturday night, partly cloudy, overnight low of 50. And Sunday, sunny and a high of 79. So I think the rest of the week turning out pretty nice here weather-wise. I think it'll be a beautiful week to continue the Eastern New Mexico State Fair. All right, it is 7:17. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We got the Roswell Livestock Report recap of Smiley Wooten, and then Robert Sherman with the Walker Aviation Museum will join us on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Good morning, this is Smiley Wooten at the Roswell Livestock Auction. 2,233 head of cattle sold on Monday on a steady to lower market with excellent buyer attendance compared to last week. Stocker calves sold steady to 10 lower, feeder cattle steady, packer cows and bulls steady to $4 lower. 3 to 400 pound steers $328, $340, 3 to 400 pound heifers $272, $285, 4 to 500 pound steers $3, $328. 4 to 500 pound heifers $250, $272. 5 to 600 pound steers $251, $3. 5 to 600 pound heifers $240, $250. 6 700 pound steers $235, $251. 6 700 pound heifers $210, $240. 7 800 pound steers $225, $235. 7 800 pound heifers $187, $210. Packer cows $95 to $110. Canner and cutter cows $75 to $85. Packer bulls $110, $125. Feeder bulls $80 to $90. Top half the cow-calf pairs $1,400 to $2,050 per pair. Top half the bred cows $1,200 to $1,525 per head. Now remember, this is the top of the market, and prices has ranged down from this according to quality, quantity, condition, and feel. We appreciate the business. We'll talk to you next Monday morning. This is Smiley Wooten, Roswell Livestock Auction.
Of all the flowers in the world, pansies get a bad rap. Hi, this is Jim Gill with Roswell Seed Company. The name pansies sound delicate and weak, but in reality, pansies are bold and beautiful. When the frost has killed all the other flowers, pansies start blooming, and they'll bloom all winter long, which is why you should come see us at Roswell Seed. We have a greenhouse full of colorful pansies ready to brighten up the coldest winter day. So come get your pansies, and remember, if someone calls you a pansy, take it as a compliment.
Asian Market brings the flavors of the East to Roswell. The market side has lots of new and different items, including new sauces and noodles to enhance your Asian dishes, plus new snacks and more. And the restaurant inside Asian Market has all Nook's favorites from 11 to 5, like wontons, egg drop, rice or noodle soup, crispy calamari, and the best barbecue fried rice in town. Dine in or call ahead for easy pickup. And find Asian Market on Facebook for updates on open times and specials.
Hi, this is Nok. Come see me at Asian Market, 5702 South Main in Roswell. Call 575-840-5309.
A night of music that'll bring you joy. Compassion presents We Are Messengers Where the Joy Is tour with special guest Cochran and Company and Ben Fuller. Sunday, October 15th in Carlsbad at Walter Gerald's Performing Arts Center. We Are Messengers Where the Joy Is tour with Cochran and Company and Ben Fuller. Tickets are available now at wearemessengersmusic.com.
Let's face it, guys, we're living in times where the truth is becoming more suppressed and censorship is increasing at an alarming rate, especially on social media platforms. It's Clyde, and I want to tell you about a safe and secure digital playground we put together just for you. It's aftermath.media. You get access to thousands of Ground Zero archives and podcasts, along with our private social media groups with your basic membership starting at only $7 a month. Each subscription includes tech support, access to the RSS feeds, along with our own chat room and Telegram channel. In addition, the premium membership includes research study groups, webinars, a document and movie library, a live video stream of Ground Zero, a monthly Zoom chat with me, and other bonus content. Be sure to check out our yearly specials as well. Sign up today while you're thinking about it. Sign up at aftermath.media. Again, that's aftermath.media.
You are 13.8% more likely to die on your birthday. Think about that the next time you want to celebrate your birthday month. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 22 minutes after 7 o'clock. And joining us in studio this morning from the Walker Aviation Museum, Robert Sherman back with us. Good morning, Robert. How you doing today?
Good, Mike. How you doing?
Doing well. How's life at the museum this morning?
I don't know about this morning.
But yesterday was pretty good.
Yesterday pretty good. Actually, yesterday was, we don't have that many visitors, sometimes 15, sometimes 20. Sometimes less, but
Sure.
Yesterday was the majority were just people passing through the area, tourists, which is unusual. Most of them are people waiting for the aircraft,
Sure.
or people just come in on the aircraft or whatever. But
So you got a few that actually
Had a-
destination to come
yeah,
in.
people just traveling around trying to see stuff going on. And
Yes, or maybe in town for the fair week. Maybe they're from other parts
well,
of the
a lot
state.
of them come by. They're just on a trip across the country, but their grandfather or dad or somebody was in the at Walker and
Have
they
a
want-
connection.
They want
yeah.
to come by and see what's
Yeah, that's something I know between you and Ted we talk about a lot here on the show is almost every month there's usually one or two people that come in, sometimes more, and either their family members were stationed at Walker or at Roswell Army Airfield, depending on the time they were there, or they themselves, depending. We get a few of the actual service member or spouse that have come in. And and to be honest, you guys get a lot of cool stuff from that because a lot of times.
Matter of fact, just recently, like you said, probably in the last week or 10 days, we've got a nice gentleman came in and he called, and it's one of the type. I told my wife, I said, it's one of those guys you talk with on the phone for like a minute or two, and you kind of automatically know I would really like this guy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he seemed like just my type.
Just connect.
We could just hang out,
Yeah.
So anyway, he's sending us a bunch of his dad's old uniforms and stuff. So.
Oh, cool! How nice.
So
is
hopefully we can get some of those displayed for him.
And I know the families that donate these things love to do that because I think most of them think, well, once we lose our family member, who wants to keep this? Will they keep it properly? And now they all know it's in possession of a museum that's
rather
curating
than hanging
and
in
going to
their closet or in a box up in the garage.
They know that it's through some small way their family's legacy will live on through the Walker Aviation Museum. And to me, I think the families love that, and we certainly love that we can offer that to people.
Yeah. So. I'd like to remind people out there that the Walker Museum is kind of 50-50, 50%, maybe 60% is the history of Walker.
Mm-hmm.
And right now we've kind of transitioned over the last several years into a career orientation for youth. I get a lot of folks that come in, and one of the questions I ask them right off the bat is, do you have any, I have to be careful, any kids or grandkids?
Do you have any children?
Or great-grandkids that are like, 13, 12, 18 years old that are kind of trying to decide what they want to do in life.
Mm-hmm.
And if they say, yeah, I do, then we can open up and give them some information like on our business card and little brochure we have now that talks about different careers.
Absolutely.
And some websites that we have that we recommend they go to. And I usually bring it up on my phone and show them. They sometimes get pretty excited, like, wow, that's really cool. I didn't realize that.
Well, you look at the world we live in and the aviation industry in general and all of that, and it doesn't matter really what section of the aviation industry you're in.
Mm-hmm.
There's a shortage of qualified people to be in those areas, whether it's pilots, whether it's air traffic controllers, whether it's maintainers, whether it's the logistics of moving people and things from to and fro. They need more people in that industry. And so if there's young people looking for a chance, an opportunity, and love that kind of stuff, maybe a trip to the Walker Aviation Museum might kind of spawn and inspire and even maybe help you start your path to one of those career fields.
Yeah, we had this family come in. Apparently, they'd come in to pick up their daughter. And they were flying back to Philadelphia. And then anyway, it was a young gal, and she looked like, typical me when I'm 80 years old. I look at someone, and she's, I look like she's maybe a junior in high school. But she's finished up about, several months worth of police training at Flexi, and her instructor was Christopher Dubé, which is right across the street from me.
Small world, huh?
So she's headed out to finish up another, 4 or 5 months of training, and she wants to be a policeman in Washington, D.C. area.
Okay.
And you just wouldn't picture her, but she's really cool. I mean, she looked like she really had her act together and stuff. And I said, well, really appreciate your future service, and we just talked about that, and I gave her, because I was getting ready to give her some information, she could, but she's already got her career and she's marching along.
She is set path and on her path. So that's good. But that's what it's a lot of great, because that's, like you said, it's really the twofold of the museum is to celebrate the history and of the museum, of the military stat base there, also focusing on the mission during the Cold War era here that this community served. But the other part is that STEM side, showing the technology of aviation and how many career fields that are touched by STEM and exposing all of this to younger folks to give them inspiration to pursue these careers.
You can go on the computer, or you can actually go on your cell phone and go to our website and then hit education and scroll on down besides seeing what our program is like and a bunch of YouTubes that we have on careers and aircraft on careers. You get to a section called, aviation training, and it's a particular company, and there's 38 videos there that total up 12 hours. As a matter of fact, I told my wife, I keep talking about this to everybody. I'm watching them now at home. And the first one you come to is they start giving you a bunch of other references, websites you can go to for FAA and this and practice testing and blah,
so it's
blah,
a can of worms. You open that up and it takes you down other places.
It's actually a professional ground school and you run into kids or guys or girls ladies that want to be into aviation or thinking about being a pilot. I said, well, you can go ahead and start this and get your ground school started. It's not going to necessarily apply to what course you're going to take, but it's exactly the same thing, very professional.
Absolutely.
And it gives them up to 12 hours of ground training before they even hit the classroom, and they'll be really a jump ahead.
And then you go into that classroom with a good idea of exactly what's going on, and you can you have a better understanding of it. Not to mention that the museum also is proud owners of that flight simulator that folks can come and actually get actual pilot training seating hours. Getting there towards their pilot's license and all that.
$6,000 flight simulators in there with Lockheed software that we got through a generous grant from XL Energy, and it's kind of like a lot more complex than we use it for. I mean, we just kind of like set up for a little Cessna.
Sure.
But
you're doing demonstrations and stuff.
They'll fly 50 different aircrafts and land at almost any airport in the world.
You can get legit training on being a pilot with that thing.
Yeah.
This is way different than
like I mentioned
computer games.
Many times before. You get a pilot that comes in from a plane that just came in and kind of looks around, and And he kind of looks at, oh, yeah, okay, little Cessna, whatever. I said, well, you can select, a Raptor fighter aircraft and land in Istanbul, Turkey at night in the rain. He goes, oh, wow, this is pretty cool.
I'm curious. I'd be very one of those guys want to come in and say, I've always wanted to fly an F-22.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
All 50 aircraft that are in there have, their cockpit and what it looks like,
cool.
and all the instrumentation and stuff.
I'm not going to lie. If I was a pilot, and I flew commercial heavies for a living, and I'd be like, because when you get your hands on an F-20, in which that's like driving a Ferrari compared to a tractor trailer. I mean, it's a big difference.
Even Bob Donnell, who's out there, and he likes to get on those a lot. He's kind of the flight simulator guy. His wife was a pilot. But anyway, she helps us out sometimes with the kids. But he said the other day I had to get a faster airplane, so when I was skipping around over the territory, it was going faster, and than just putting along it, I
don't want to take the scenic route. I want to go through blurring.
Yeah. And, as you get there, my sister's son came down, and he lives in Manhattan, and he was flying around down through New York and stuff, on a plane. And he said, this building's not, this is in the wrong place. I said, well, that's ever since 9/11. They don't have it all exactly the same. So somebody can get a little, some software and just practice on exactly where they want to go and what building they're going to hit or whatever.
Sure.
So that's kind of like, unfortunately, kind of what happened from that situation.
Yeah, it is we don't want to make it too easy to train on it for things. Interesting.
I don't want to.
But that, again, that's something that's part of the Walker Aviation Museum side. I think most people don't realize that, you want to come and see all the cool memorabilia and that stuff. That's so much part of it. But if you're looking for opportunities to advance, for maybe you're looking for career paths and things or opportunities, the museum does have that. So please, youth.
Yeah, that website I was telling you about, under education, we changed and modified it. That as you go on down under education, you find 3 little color photos of Bob Donnell and I working with the kids. Kids are always shot from the back, so we have permission. We can shoot the back of their head. Yeah. So right above those pictures is a section that talks about education, STEM education type stuff. A little block. You click on that, and you go right to this website, ONET Online, standing for Occupational Network Online, and in that particular situation, you get 331 science, technology, engineering, math jobs that pop up alphabetically.
Oh, wow.
And each one of those you can click on, and it gives you, I'd say, 20, 25 pages of information, all the way from the tasks, skills you'll need, where you can get training, what the salaries are in the different parts of the United States, and all kinds of stuff.
Wow.
So, but if you go on to your computer or your phone and just type in ONET Online, ONET online.org, then you have a little blank that has maybe has electrician in there or something. You can just type in something that you're interested in, and below that, a bunch of things will pop up that are maybe exactly what you typed in or close to it, and then you can go to that. And in this case, you get a choice of about 1,040 jobs that'll pop up on that particular website, and that's used by, understand, Goddard and Roswell High and probably the other high schools here in town.
Good deal.
So we recommend that, and we show them. I kind of can show them right then while they're standing there on my iPhone, on my cell phone, and they were kind of like, "Wow, good! I'll show that to my kids or my cousins or whatever." So
that's great. It's great that it's giving that chance to get these younger folks to see what just is out there. So that being said, too, we also like to focus on the history side of things.
Absolutely.
So we do want to do that. And, of course, when Robert joins us or Ted or anybody each time, we always talk a little history, whether it's about the actual base itself or just the times in which the base served in. So what direction we want to go today, Robert?
Well, first of all, I just want to mention a few things. Greg Nybert's Boy Scout Troop is coming out on the 17th in the evening.
Okay.
And we're going to have a little bite to eat, and then they're going to get the kids. He only has about 8, which is ideal for us. We'll get,
it's a good size to work on the
I get 4 of them on the flight simulator, and 4 of them will show about 12 different STEM careers.
Scouts will love that.
Off of YouTube.
Are they bringing the food?
Actually, they were going to cook, and I said, tell you what, if you guys come out, I'm going to go by Subway and get one of those boxes of bunches of little sandwiches.
Oh, yeah, the party sub?
Yeah, party sub, whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, so they're going to have that so you don't get too distracted on cooking when we get
right.
busy on our
Just
stuff.
don't get mayonnaise on the simulator.
That's right. By the way, on the 16th of, I think we were sitting here trying to figure out what day it was. I think 16th of September, Saturday, we had Roswell Museum Day.
You did. It was a huge success. Every museum that participated, I've heard, there
were 7 museums
outstanding results from it, including the Historical Museum, Anderson, the Roswell Museum and Art Center, Walker Aviation Museum, the McBride Museum at NIMI. Yeah, they all participated, and it sounds like you guys had quite a few folks come through the doors that Saturday too.
Yeah, we have a little big jar that people could fit out a little blue ticket, and then we'd have a drawing, and at the end of the thing, each of the museum, they would draw somebody, and somebody would win their particular bag. But also the bag contained items from all the other 6 museums.
They had, like, if you did the passport and filled it out, you got to enter for the chance to win the swag bag.
So Adolph Romero, really great guy with a young son, he won it, and so I hand-delivered it over to him. And
so I
gave him a call, and he said, okay, I'm sitting on my front porch waiting for you. So
Good deal.
I brought the bag by. And
so he got some swag.
His young son liked all the stuff we had in there.
I'm glad he got to come out and participate, because, to be honest, the swag bag's nice, but the real reward is he got to go and visit these museums and see.
Yeah, the kids were there and
see a little bit of his backyard, which is
some of the kids that were wanting to fly the simulators were a little below the age of 12, 13. So we just said, okay, you can sit there between your dad's legs and let dad do it. And he can show you kind of how.
Yeah, these aren't like your Nintendo or
no, it's not
Sega.
A toy.
These are these are a little bit different.
Yeah,
so they're not. There are certain ages a little too old for.
Our current board members, for those people out there, I'm no longer president. However, I got sucked into. No, I volunteered to be. I volunteered to be secretary, so I'm a secretary.
You take notes now.
Yeah, I take notes. Allie Bishop is still our treasurer. Katie Yates, Sandy Correa is our president, and from September up until August of 2024, she'll be the president. Bob Donnell. There, Juliana Halverson, Judy Armstrong, Jerry Cloffer, Fryer, Jarek Norwacki, Stephen Miller, Ted Smith. He's a big volunteer at the museum. And
absolutely.
Ted Wiesler, works with Cattle Baron.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He's president-elect.
Nice. So he's about to be in charge.
Yeah, so starting in August of 2024, he'll take over in September there in 2024. Peggy Boland, our astronomy gal, she's on our board now, and
she got her head in the stars.
General Doug Murray, who left, and he's kind of
emeritus.
Colorado. We kind of keep him up to speed what's going on, and we've got a great new advisory board member, Josh Bookson, works with the out at the college with career stuff.
Okay,
coming. Yeah, I don't have an exact name. He can beat me up next time you see him. But no, he's one of those type of guys that you meet and you just like, yeah, we could be best friends. You used to talk about how good friends are. Could you be locked up, in a cell with that person for 2 years? And some people like 2 minutes is too much. 2 years, man, I don't know if I can handle that. But
I think at some point, no matter how different your personalities are, you find common ground in 2 years. You figure it out. It's the 2 minutes that's tough. But it's great to have those folks that are serving and always looking for more people too to volunteer and be a part. If you're interested in serving as a docent, maybe you're retired or you have some free time during the day and Ted wants to take a day off every once in a while. They need some.
Yes, Ted. Usually Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Bob Donnell and I decide who's going to be out there Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. I always volunteer to be out there Saturday, so it's between Thursday and.
Curious, do you guys have anything out at the fair? Do you have in the education building or anything? I don't know if you had a display or anything.
Maybe next year we'll try to get something.
Okay, I just wanted to know.
We were just kind of struggling along with what we got.
Sure.
Trying to get people to be at the museum that can get open.
Sense. But I just wanted to, in case you guys had something out there, I was going to say, hey, don't forget to check it out.
And, in the past, we've actually been in the parade and all kinds of stuff. We just
this year
haven't
all come to us. Come to the simulators. They're heavy to move.
Yeah, really.
But also, don't forget, this is too that now the museum generally runs around the hours of the flight schedule. The flight,
right? That's true.
However,
now the plane's leaving at 12:03, and we're usually out there around 9:30.
Yeah. However, if you have youth groups, church groups, anything, school groups, anything like that, and you want to set up a special, just kind of like how the Boy Scouts are going to be doing here in a week or two.
Yeah.
Please reach out to the museum, either through the website or Facebook page, or call or come by and talk, and they'll be happy to set something up, and they can cater and customize the presentation to your group. You know, if you want to focus more on the flight stuff, or if you want to focus more on the history stuff, whatever you want to do, these volunteers can help you do that. So, and that being said, if you have time and want to be, like I said, so you don't, so it's not the three of them, holding down the fort here, and you want to do some of that too, or perhaps you are more on the organizational side. It's like, I'd love to help with categorizing, organizing, cleaning, and just, chronicling the treasures that are home to the Walker Aviation Museum. There's a labor of love there too, of setting up displays and preserving and categorizing and cataloging all the stuff that's in the possession of the museums.
Yeah, Josh Bookson was mentioning his son, and his son has a friend. His friend wants to be a pilot, and he's really into this. So we're trying to get them out maybe during off hours and get them really up to speed on the flight simulator. So if we have a group coming out after hours, after school hours, I'd really like to have some, juniors or seniors coming out showing these maybe middle school kids how to fly this flight simulator, rather than some old man talking to them,
Kind of the train the trainer kind of thing.
Yeah, and sometimes youth at that age will respond better to kids that are maybe 3 or 4 years older than them, and not 50, 100 years older.
They speak the lingo. You don't speak the lingo they speak sometimes.
That's right. That's right. That's a good point. By the way, out there, we want to just recognize in the past, and people have given us money to keep us running, was Pioneer Bank, Featherstone Development Corp., Glenn Furniture, Six Bomb Wing Reunion Group gave us some money. David Petroleum, Gerald Murray when he left. Roswell Toyota, XL Energy, Aircell were big, and some other folks like Dr. Paul Engstrom and Phil Cathy and Lloyd Hughes and some other folks out there. So we just appreciate anybody that a little extra money to kind of keep our doors open and pay the rent.
Absolutely. Yeah, if if you want to help out, one easy way to do that, if you go to the Walker Air Force Base Museum's website, which is www.wafbmuseum.org. The WAFB stands for, is the acronym for Walker Air Force Base Museum.org. There you will find a donate now link that you can donate. You also find the link to the Amazon Smile, which is if you shop Amazon, which we all do, don't act like you don't. When you shop Amazon, if you use their Smile link, when you shop through Amazon, you shop like you normally would. You buy whatever you normally buy, but a small percentage of what you bought on Amazon will donate some money to the museum. So you spend $100, a few pennies of that goes to the museum. You do that often enough, or get enough people to do that, the museum gets a nice little check every month. So if you want to help out the museum with not really creating any extra effort on your part, use that Amazon Smile tab, and every time you go to shop and not shop local and you feel guilty about it, you won't feel so bad because you're helping out the museum here locally when you do it.
Yesterday we had a bunch of guys come in, and I went up to them and I said, "You guys are exactly fall into the 60%." And they said, "What's that?" And I said, "Well, 60% of the guys that walk in the museum go straight to the cabinet. We have 3 combat rifles on display." It's just the guys. And this gentleman, I believe, up in the Rio Doso area, donated those. And we have a World War II Japanese rifle, a German rifle, and a Russian rifle.
Those are cool.
And you'd be surprised how many guys come in. "Oh, I got that gun," and those, I guess, there had a lot of them.
Sure. Well, there are a lot of souvenirs, I'm guessing, back like during that time.
Or that they came back and then they're just for sale. And actually, you can, use them for deer hunting. Or
so what's the percentage that run right to the model airplanes?
For the model airplanes?
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean?
Like there's some of the display model airplanes there. Like,
a few,
I'm one of those people. I run right to the planes because I want to look at the airplanes.
I got you.
The rifles are cool, but I want to see the airplanes. I like looking at airplanes.
Yeah, I have a baseball uniform and a patch of a guy that I don't have the names exactly right, but he was on Chicago Cubs, I think, farm team, but he came in, I think it was 1954. I might be wrong. The Walker won the 8th Air Force World Series, so to speak.
He was on the team, right?
Yeah, he was on the team. He was the pitcher, and
that's
really,
right.
really
Did he have
good.
a Letterman's jacket or something?
Yeah, I have a big
donated?
old patch on there. It's really,
yeah.
it's really cool.
I remember you showing
so
a
that was
picture
an
of that
example of what some people sent us.
Yeah.
They were visiting museums,
and that's a cool relic too,
yeah.
because that's such unique to the lifestyle of the base and you know and the what was when they weren't busy getting ready for war, what was life like, and so you get to see that, and that baseball jacket is really a peel back of that.
Yeah,
I love that, and that's the cool stuff you get. People donate things like that. It's not always I got you a pillbox from no. It's stuff like that. That was from our squadron bowling tournament that we had, and that's the part that we love and all that.
Well, you talk about the UFO stuff. We take a different spin on that. For example, well, first of all, a lot of people come in under the misconception that the plane guys trained here and stuff, and then they flew from here to the Pacific and then dropped the bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. That's not true. It was, Westover in Utah.
Okay.
A base right there on the border of Nevada and Utah. And then they did the training there, and then they went to Tinian, and then they dropped the bomb. All of World War II, Walker was a training base. It was training, advanced pilot training, where you get a pilot that's just finished pilot school, and now he's going to transition to a multi-engine aircraft.
Okay.
So he came to Walker.
Okay.
And at that time, it wasn't Walker, Roswell Army Airfield.
Sure. So they were getting transitioning from a single engine
and
to
the
multiple
same little
engine aircraft.
twin engine aircraft they were training on, AT-11s or whatever. They were doing bombardier training at the same time. So you had guys learning to fly double engine aircraft, so they could transition from that into either B-24s or B-17s and over in Europe or Pacific or whatever.
So with these guys, so if they were coming here, they're all going to go heavy because they're learning on multiple aircraft.
Yeah, there was 14,000 of them came through during World War II.
Gotcha.
Here.
So these guys could either go cargo planes or bombers, depending on
absolutely
where they ended up.
Right. That's a good point.
Yeah.
It could be some of the twin engine cargo planes.
The only thing
or
that they're not going to is they're not flying in the P-51s or the P-47s. They're in the multiple engine
they're getting
aircraft.
ready to transition to multi-engine aircraft.
Yeah.
But so keep that in mind. It's that they didn't boxcar, Enola Gay, all the training for the atomic bomb that was being done in another location.
Gotcha.
Then Colonel Butch Blanchard, who was the wing commander at Roswell
That's
Army
a good
Airfield
name.
in
That's
July,
a good general name. Butch Blanchard.
made the first
or a football coach, one or the other. Coach Butch Blanchard on the field.
Yeah, Butch Blanchard, he was one that made the first report that a flying saucer had been found north of Roswell. I think we won't get into the details.
There's a whole museum you can read on
but
that.
anyway, he was the operations officer before that at Tinian.
Okay.
When the atomic missions had shown up and they were doing stuff, he and General Curtis LeMay kind of felt strongly that the crews at Tinian were capable of carrying out the atomic bombing mission. So they're kind of maybe, jealous or whatever. They just thought, well, we can do this. So they got permission and they took Blanchard up on a training mission, and where they would drop the bomb. They'd take all the guns out except for the tail gun. That would reduce the weight by 7,000 pounds. They could fly higher than any of the other B-29s.
Yeah, this is something you have to remember. Back then, there wasn't air refuelers and things like that. So they literally had the weight and everything to make sure that they could fly from point A to point B and have enough gas to get there and get back. There was a lot of engineering and science in there, and that's what they're... Whereas nowadays, that problem solved by just hitting an air refuel tanker on the way to their destination. Yeah. They didn't have that luxury.
So they were training with dropping these big pumpkin bombs that were kind of the shape of the atomic bomb was going to be, but this was just full of black, powder. And they would fly up above 30,000 feet, and then they'd drop the bomb, on a bombing run. This is practice. And then they make a really hard, say, left turn and drop 2,000 feet to get enough speed and head off in a direction so that by the time that pumpkin bomb they dropped reaches about 1,800 feet above the ground, they would be 9 miles away.
Okay.
Because you start thinking about it, if you just dropped the bomb and kept going straight, you're not going to be around long after that atomic bomb goes off underneath you.
Yeah, that's and I remember from my days in the military, that's when we were learning about the different types of munitions and things like that, and a lot of the fin packages on bombs are designed a certain way.
Slow them up and
so some to create more drag, so the bomb takes longer to drop, so you got more time to get out of the way.
Right.
And the way in which they drop it too, because sometimes depending on the sometimes they could drop it from a certain altitude. Other times they had to literally dive bomb it, which means they had to drop down, and then climb out of there real quick, depending on the mission and what they were. And so the fin packages on the bombs are designed to allow them to do that a certain way without killing themselves.
Right. That's
if
right.
That makes sense.
So apparently, when they got through this mission and did this high, really violent turn and stuff like that, he decided, we'll let you guys do this job. He realized that they've been training for this for a year or so. And
sure.
So anyway,
since you already started and whatnot, go ahead and finish up there.
Yeah. So, but anyway, that was the case that some people have that misconception. And by the way, when the kids come out, we don't just jump right into career stuff. We give them some history, and a lot of times we take them out to the fence line where we can show the parked aircraft and
see
talk
some of the
about
aircraft,
some of the companies, Dean Baldwin, Aircell, and other companies out there that are taking those airplanes and taking parts off. And the fact that Aircell, for example, among others, have programs that, they'll pay you to go to college and get this stuff done so you can come work for them and stuff.
Absolutely.
So as we kind of try to make that known to them, which they may not be aware of, they don't. Most of them don't know.
Sure. Yeah.
So then we get back into the thing, and then we do our flight simulator and career stuff after that. So,
good deal.
So they always get a little history.
So hopefully by the end of the visit, they are inspired, entertained, and maybe even, who knows, pick their path for their future. So we're almost out of time here. What's other information we definitely want to make sure we cover and get out before we get kicked off the radio here?
Before we get kicked off?
Yeah. For the news and all that.
A couple things I've read recently, those out there that may want to grab a book off of Amazon or whatever, it's Countdown 1945 by Chris Wallace. It was the #1 bestseller for a while, and it's copyright. It was written in 2020.
Okay.
Very interesting about counting down to dropping the bomb at Hiroshima and all the thoughts and concerns. And people just think, they just went out there and did it. No, there was so much concern talking about stuff. And the fact that the Japanese were going to suicidal, just go to the last man, and they were figuring at least 1 million casualties on the Allied side.
Yeah.
And then maybe 3 million on the inside. So they were trying to weigh.
Well, and let's face it,
plus or minus of dropping something like atomic bomb and getting
Japan
them.
wasn't known to be the surrendering type back then.
Right. That's true.
and there was a lot of big decisions and weighted there's a reason why we are still talking about the moments this far into the future, because it was a turning moment in the history of mankind is what happened there.
And another thing you can do, you got an hour and a half, which we all spend a lot of time watching TV, go on YouTube and look up the Enola Gay B-29 Superfortress / the bomber that dropped the atomic bomb. It's narrated by Gary Sinise, and it's an hour and 28 minutes long, so you can check. It should be exactly, hour and 28 minutes and so many seconds long. And it addresses the development of the B-29, short biography of Paul Tibbets, the pilot of the Enola Gay, and a selection of bombing crew and how that happened, the training missions leading to Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And it's just a lot of good history that's kind of connected to Walker in some ways, but it's very interesting. So if you want to find that out, you can go on YouTube and find that.
Good
the
deal.
Enola Gay B-29 Superfortress.
Excellent. Yeah, that's always good. I love that kind of stuff.
And that's kind of one of the tapes that I play when I'm out there. I know other guys play some different stuff, but it's one that I get people come in. They'll come in and sit down and watch for like half an hour.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's interesting. Yeah.
So they're interesting. So I tell them, I go up there and show them this is on YouTube. Oh, okay. I'll go home and finish watching this. So anyway,
or go sit in the lobby there and you get a sandwich and watch it on their phone.
Yeah.
But if you have any questions about anything we talked about, want to set up a tour, or want to serve or volunteer, please reach out. WAFBmuseum.org is the website. Look for Walker Air Force Base Museum on Facebook as well. You can always shoot a message there too. And of course, like I said, they kind of go around the flying schedule. So if you want to pop on in here in about 11:30 or so today, they'll be there and come on in and visit.
Yeah.
Good deal.
Yep. And if you have a special tour or something, just give us a week or two notice and we can get the volunteers and we'll get out there and
get her done.
Do some stuff.
Absolutely.
Get it done, yeah.
Well, thank you, sir.
Appreciate it.
We'll see you next time.
Okay.
Stay cool or warm or whatever is going on this week.
That's right.
7:55, quick news, quick break before more news. Don't go away.
Now for your Pecos Valley News Update, I'm Jared Cirillo. Sad news to pass along today as we learn that local philanthropist and beloved Artesia resident Mac Chase has died. He was 92 years old. The Chase family issued a statement Monday morning that announced Mac's passing. The family said his legacy will live on forever and that the family is deeply grateful for the community's thoughts and prayers during this difficult time. The statement said a funeral service and arrangements are pending and would be announced as soon as they become available. The American Planning Association New Mexico chapter will hold its annual statewide conference in Roswell the third week of this month. The Roswell Convention Center will be the primary venue for the four-day event beginning October 17th. Anyone can attend, but registration is required. This year's topic will be New Mexico's response to a changing climate. It's described as an interdisciplinary gathering of planners, landscape architects, engineers, conservation professionals, nonprofits, economic development organizations, and universities, among others. More details online at newmexico.planning.org. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo.
It's time for the Chavez County Sports Report. How about we check into some boys soccer, give you a little update there. The Roswell Coyotes are playing their district opener tonight against the Hobbs Eagles. Roswell is 8-6 overall and have won 2 in a row. Both were 1-0 victories over Las Cruces and then Lovington. In that game against Lovington, the only goal came from Josu Alva and Martin Sanchez. Martin Sanchez was on the assist on that one. Now today, that's a tough task. The Hobbs Eagles are 14-0. Game time, it's a home game for Roswell. That starts at 6 o'clock. Goddard started its district play already, losing 3-0 to Artesia back on Thursday. They'll next play Saturday against Portales at home. NMMI started this district slate Saturday by winning 1-0 against Ruidoso. They'll be in action tonight at Hot Springs. That starts at 5. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell's Talk FM 106.5.
Hey, this is Jennifer from Trustmark Roofing. Every storm chaser's worst nightmare. You know storm chasers, those out-of-town roofers that descend on neighborhoods after big storms. They come in, do a crummy job, then poof, they're gone forever. Well, a few years ago, our area had a hailstorm, and right on cue, storm chasers showed up. I was driving home from work one evening and saw one talking to an elderly lady on her porch. I said, "Not today, buddy." I did a U-turn, pulled in the driveway, and walked right up to them. I warned the woman who they were talking to, and I chased away the storm chaser. The woman's daughter called me later and said a storm chaser ripped them off a few years ago. She thanked me for stopping this one and chose Trustmark for her roof. Trustmark Roofing. Every storm chaser's nightmare. Every homeowner's champion. Call today for your 20% off coupon for our spring and roof gutter maintenance service. 575-755-ROOF. Or visit TrustmarkRoofPros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
Time for the 2023 Eastern New Mexico State Fair, October 2nd through the 7th. And that means a week of great entertainment for the whole family. It all kicks off on Fair Day Monday with Anthony the Piano Man. Tuesday is DJ Day with music all day long. Wednesday at 7, don't miss Austin Van.
Driving me out of your mind.
Thursday night, catch Brian Mars at 5.
I'm having fun this tequila summer.
The I-10 Band at 7 and Selena Forever at 9.
I'll be dreaming of you tonight.
Friday night, it's JD Cox at 5. The Memphis Band at 7.
Right on the Memphis train.
And the Garth Guy Show at 9.
On the road.
Then on Saturday, Anthony the Piano Man kicks off the afternoon at 2 p.m. Then Tejano Night with Conjunto Ruin Señor at 5, El Clan Lagunero at 7, and La Zona X at 9. Best of all, it's all free with your admission to the fair. More info at enmsf.com. The Eastern New Mexico State Fair, October 2nd through the 7th. 101's gonna be a lot of fun. Ad paid for by Roswell Lodgers Tax.
Do you struggle with acne, eczema, or worry about skin cancer? Research suggests that 1 in 5 Americans will develop skin cancer by the age of 70, but when detected early, 99% of skin cancer cases are curable. At Epiphany Dermatology of Roswell, we place special emphasis on prevention, screening, and treatment, so schedule your annual skin exam by calling us at 575-208-7050 or by visiting our website at epiphanydermatology.com and get checked today. Prevention is key.
To vote in the House today on a motion by Republican Congressman Matt Gaetz to oust Speaker of the House Kevin McCarthy.
Congressman Gaetz followed through on threats made over the weekend and introduced a resolution Monday evening to move the Speaker from his leadership position, triggering an intra-party clash and setting up a showdown for the House to decide whether to remove McCarthy within 48 hours. Gaetz threatened to remove Speaker McCarthy after he relied on Democratic votes over the weekend to pass legislation to keep the government open. When briefing reporters after introducing the resolution to remove McCarthy, Gaetz himself acknowledged the move may not have enough support from other Republicans. Edwin Mora, Washington.
Just a few blocks from the U.S. Capitol, Texas Democrat Congressman Henry Cuellar was confronted last night by several armed men. They took his phone and his car. The car has been recovered, but not the suspects. The congressman was not hurt. A happy ending to the search for a 9-year-old girl who disappeared last weekend while riding her bike in a park in upstate New York. State police have rescued the child from a man who police say was holding her for ransom. Former President Trump expected back in court today, day 2 of his civil trial in New York, accused of overstating the value of his business assets. Mr. Trump says he did no such thing. In fact, he says he was careful not to exaggerate the bottom line.
My financial statements are phenomenal. They are actually less in terms of the numbers used than the actual net worth. The actual net worth is substantially more.
In any event, Mr. Trump's lawyers say the lion's share of the state's case is invalid because it's based on 12-year-old financial statements that are beyond the statute of limitations. Stocks in the red on Wall Street, the Dow down 150 points, the Nasdaq is off 87, the S&P trading 23 points lower. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
Now, shares in Chinese real estate giant Evergrande have soared as trading in the firm resumes after being suspended in Hong Kong.
When news came last week that Evergrande's chair Hui Ga-yan had been detained for questioning, accused of unspecified crimes, trading in the company's shares was suspended. It resumed today, resulting in volatile changes in price. The giant developer was once a symbol of China's booming economy, but has since come to represent all that's gone wrong with the country's heavily indebted property sector, which makes up a quarter of its overall GDP. Later this month, a hearing will commence, considering whether Evergrande should be forced into liquidation.
The BBC's Stephen McDonnell in Beijing. Syrian state media reports the Israeli military has carried out airstrikes in a strategic eastern province, wounding 2 soldiers and causing property damage. There's been no comment from Israel on those reported airstrikes. News and analysis at townhall.com. A Paris museum exhibit paints a picture of the last months of Dutch master Vincent van Gogh before he took his own life.
The unprecedented show is extraordinary and extraordinarily painful because this final period of the artist's life was also one of his most productive. Van Gogh churned out an astounding 74 paintings, among them some of his masterpieces, in a mere 72 days while living in the French village of Auvers-sur-Oise. The French capital's Orsay Museum has assembled about 40 of them. At age 37, in the height of his powers, Van Gogh was splurging out genius at the rate of a painting a day. But less than 3 weeks later, he was dead. Keith Peters reporting.
Hunter Biden is due back in a Delaware courtroom today, expected to plead not guilty to federal firearms charges that emerged after his earlier plea deal collapsed when called into question by a judge. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2.
The deuce.
Of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Tuesday. It's Tuesday.
Yes.
You know what is really exciting for me? Weirdly enough, it's a stupid flex to me and 6 people care. Big Brother moved to Tuesday night because now they changed their TV lineups. Now I didn't see Sunday's Big Brother because it didn't come on till 9, and my wife doesn't stay up that late, but we didn't watch it. We recorded it.
Yeah.
So in order for me to watch tonight's, I got to watch Sunday.
Right.
So I got back-to-back Big Brother night, baby.
Dang.
I think I'm going to order some food.
Yeah.
Watch Big Brother.
Nice.
That's my evening.
That right there, that's a good plan. I love that feeling when you got...
We're a mark for the show Big Brother, sorry.
No, I 100%
understand. 100
understand.
years we've been watching that show.
I've been kind of exploring since I just recently got a new TV, so I've sort of been exploring some of the other apps on the TV. I was messing around in the Roku TV app, and there's a block of 6 channels in the Roku TV app that are every single one of the 24-hour cameras from Big Brother.
Yes. I am not that desperate.
Do that.
Some people are desperate. I have watched them before.
For like 5 minutes just to see if somebody scratches a crotch or something.
I will remember, like, a couple years ago, I remember, like, a Friday night or Thursday night or something. It was during the summer, and I was like, didn't have to get up and work the next day. So I literally...
I don't know what to do with my hands.
But what I did was I had it on, but I was, like, playing computer and doing other things. So it was kind of on in the background, so I just randomly eavesdrop on whatever. Problem is you can't hear half of what they're saying because it's not like the show where they're all mic'd up.
Right.
I mean, they are mic'd up, but a lot of times they're having their little secret conversations or they're trying not to disturb other people in the house. And so they're like whispering. So a lot of times it's just them huddled in the corner whispering. You could barely hear what they're saying.
So are you on Big Brother mic'd up 24/7?
I have it available.
No, I mean as a contestant.
Oh, yes.
Like, if you're on Big Brother, you are on you have a lav on you 24/7, a lav mic.
Yes.
That's...
Because it's funny, and you hear
intrusive.
You hear it a lot when you watch the live feed. It's like they'll be talking, all of a sudden the voice comes over and says, Alex, please put your your mic back on, or please turn on your microphone.
Really?
Yeah, you hear it every once in a while.
So, like, what if somebody's got like
if they're moving around and their mic gets covered by their shirt or something?
Right.
Please expose your microphone. You've covered up your microphone.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's like, what if somebody's got like an explosive bout of like diarrhea?
Then it gets mic'd. And I just hope that they choose not to put it in a public area.
Well,
they're really good about that. They don't put them on blast when they got to go to the bath. They shut all the mics, but they go in there with the mics and everything.
Because, like,
in theory, there's probably footage that CBS has of people going to the bathroom.
It's been on for well over a decade and a half now, right? Big Brother?
Yeah, easily.
Like 15, 16
probably
years?
20 years now.
How has in that entire time nobody gotten like salacious?
Oh, it has.
Have they?
Well, here's the thing. There are other versions of Big Brother.
Sure.
Like the United States has a version.
Right, there's the
but
UK.
There's other ones in UK. And it seems like the other versions have that going on.
A lot more naughtiness.
The US version does. I don't know if either A, they choose not to discuss it.
Okay.
Or B, Americans are just, because a lot of times what you see is they'll be under the blanket making out, and you just see the blanket and giggling, and that's about the extent of it.
Right.
There are, like in the European and some of the others I've seen where they've been, there has been years where, yes, that has gone on. They generally, like just for instance, because every year there's a showmance is the term that they use in the biz. It is a showmance. So every year there's a showmance on the show. There's at least one, sometimes two, sometimes. And every time they'll try to make out in a certain place and they get caught by the house, or they get caught. It happens in every season. So, and it happened this year. It happened two or three episodes ago.
Okay,
where there's a couple that one was in the shower, and then the other one was also in the shower, but they didn't know that the one was in the shower till they got caught with the other in the shower.
Wow.
Well, two walked, because the bathroom in there is very public.
Sure.
Like the whole house, they hang out and converse in the bathroom. There is a stall that a little closeted room they go in to go to the toilet. And then there's a shower with a half door so you can see the top and you can see the feet.
It goes toilet, urinal, confession.
Yeah. And then there's like a big open area with sinks and mirrors and chairs where they can argue and do their various ablutions.
Ablutions. Love that word.
I just want an excuse to crowbar that word in.
Anytime. Here's the thing, and this is what because Big Brother, at the very least, on Big Brother, there's showers, they have soap, they're clean. The one thing I've never in my entire life understood, I'm a fan of the show Survivor.
Yes.
How in God's name can you be on a beach for 2 weeks and fall in love with somebody? And this is back when, you remember back when couples would get together and they would combine their names? That was like a big trope from like the 2000s.
Brangelina.
Exactly, Brangelina. So the big one that came out of Survivor was Ramber. Was Rob and Amber from like season 3. That. Yeah,
Boston
Rob, exactly, and Amber, and there was it was like a storybook romance. But the whole time I'm watching this romance unfold, I'm like, you people must smell terrible.
Well, and here's I can give a little comparison because I've experienced some of that. Like when you're all dirty,
that goes out the window.
You don't notice that the other's dirty so much. And the only reason I know this is when I was in Scouts, I went to Philmont up in.
You're not about to give me a Canteen Boy story, are you?
No.
Okay.
But we're up in the mountains hiking for about 2-3 weeks and everything else out there, and you're living off the land. It's low impact camping.
Right.
You're carrying bare essentials. You eat dehydrated food to save space and everything else.
Fish if you can.
You're also in bear country, so things like deodorant, soap, unless it's like ivory soap that's unscented.
Right.
You don't bring it. Toothpaste, you don't use those things because they all have scents. They all attract bears. And so you don't even want to use it. Like it's one thing if you put it on and then put it up in the bear bag at night.
Sure.
But if you're sleeping with your deodorant, your toothpaste on, the bear smells that. And the bear sometimes is it. And so you did not use deodorant or toothpaste or things like that for 2 to 3 weeks there. And none of you use toothpaste or any. And a lot of the people that live up there all summer don't use a lot of the toothpaste, toothbrush, and stuff like that, except for maybe once or twice a week when they come down out their spots there to go live like people for a minute.
Yeah.
And so you just spend that whole 2 weeks around smelly people. And so if you're smelly already, you don't, it really doesn't, after a while you don't notice it. We get so into our world. That being said, please wash and do your thing.
Right.
We don't want that to get there, but I've had to camp where hygiene was the low priority. And after a while, everybody's funky and you just don't, it just kind of blends in. You get nose blind to the funk.
I would imagine, you would probably have to, or you'd go insane.
Yeah. So that's probably why it happens. I'm going to guess.
It's one of those just like, why? Well, you have so much more to focus on. Don't forget about that for 3 weeks.
Right.
Drop the libido, homie.
Yeah. It's well, that's just it too. And because this is my 50-year-old brain as opposed to my 20-year-old brain that had different priorities.
Right.
At 50, I walk in there, I'm like, I ain't got time for romance. I'm here to win $500,000.
Yeah, exactly.
My job is to win $500,000. I'm not here for love. And I get it. Love happens where love happens. And if I was a single man in my 20s, I probably would feel very different about that. But I don't. So I'm like, no, I'm here. If I'm going to sit here and not eat food and try to figure out how to start a fire and hang out in a loincloth while crabs bite my buttocks,
yep.
I'm here for the money. I ain't here to find a mate.
Yeah, no, I'm agreeing with you on that one, but it's just, that always blew my mind. It's like, how can you block that out?
Yeah. Or Big Brother, they got none but time in that house. Like, they're just literally sitting around, and so I can see how it easily happens in that house, because let's just face it, they're not trying to survive.
And that's just,
they're trying to fight boredom.
I feel like I could maintain my sanity a lot better on like a Survivor than a Big Brother, because if it's already done for me and I don't have to do it, I'm just going to sit around and twiddle my thumbs.
Yeah.
Because they have nothing, right? You can't like watch a show or read a newspaper, nothing, right?
Oh yeah, in the Big Brother house, they have no
They're just locked
outside
down.
world. They have no access to that. They can, I think the only book they have is the Bible. Like, I think the only book they're allowed to have in there is the Bible.
Can you imagine?
Or I'm guessing your other religious books.
Sure,
Quran, whatever.
Could you imagine if they had the Big Brother season right in the middle of 9/11? These people come out of the house like, so what's new? Anything? Oh my God.
Something like that actually did happen.
Did it?
If I remember
remember
there was
Big Brother was on then.
There was a couple of those moments in history that happened, and the Big Brother people found out about it
after
the fact. I remember. I don't think it was 9/11, but it was another one of those and they learned about it. Well, the only reason 9/11 was because it was. You know what? I don't know if the season was wrapped up by then, because normally it's a summer show. So, but right around the finales, so they may have been in the house when that 9/11 went down.
Was it on during the that run?
I don't remember. It's been so dang long. I was thinking about other things, but they've had instances where they've had major earth-shattering things in the world go on, and those people are kind of oblivious to it in the house. I just don't remember off the top of my head what some of those were, but they've happened.
I'll be darned.
Was it 9/11?
Yep.
Okay. I kind of thought that happened.
Yeah, it says the events of 9/11 occurred during season 2, was the only time house guests, the final 3, were informed of outside information. This was due to one player having direct ties to the event. Fans eventually became aware of the location of the house and began flying banners across the backyard for house guests.
That's right. I remember.
That's why they don't let people or do anything like that, because people can geotag and find the house.
Well, the house is a studio.
Well, yeah.
It's not. I don't even think it's a house. I literally think it's a studio lot in CBS.
Okay.
That has because if you watch the show, the house and the stage and the audience and all in the same place. Like on Thursday nights when they evict the house guest,
right?
Like they literally come out of the house and walk into the studio with Julie and the crowd and everything. So I don't think there's an actual house. I think it's the studio lot building that they've built up into this house that's got a courtyard. I don't think it's an actual house anywhere. I think it's
I wonder if that's maybe
lot.
something that's recent, because I feel like, in this case, if they
people
able to find the house.
But for the last 10, 12, whatever, the modern version of Big Brother, it's been in this, I think, a studio or something. I don't think it's an actual house. So we do have the folks from the Health Council here.
We've learned a lot this morning.
And so we got the folks from the Chaves County Health Council joining us. They've got coming up here on October 10th a suicide prevention event that they want to invite folks to come out and be a part of and learn more about that and raise awareness and support for folks dealing with these kinds of things. So yes, sir. We will have them come in and just, I heard Joanne. I'm not sure who else is
There's three ladies out there.
All right, very good. So we'll have the ladies from the Health Council join us, and we'll be back with that here. So before we do any of that, let's go ahead and get you up to date on the weather. I'm telling you, my weather's just nice and boring now. There's like no talk of rain, just beautiful weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Pretty warm today. Sunshine with high pressure moving in for a little while. It might be breezy. Our afternoon high will be in the upper 80s. For the overnight hours, maybe a few clouds, upper 50s and low 60s. We do have a little system moving back in on Wednesday. Could bring us a few showers. Mix of sunshine and clouds, and we'll stay in the mid 80s. We're back to sunny weather on Thursday, low 80s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. And currently 67 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 91%. Winds currently out of the south at 9 miles per hour. Partly cloudy, gradually becoming sunny today with a high of 89 degrees. Winds will be out of the southwest 10 to 15. And to be honest, that's the warm day this week. It's going to get cooler and nicer as the week goes. Mostly clear tonight, overnight low of 56. Southwest winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. For Wednesday, mostly sunny, 84 for a high. A little bit cooler. West winds, 5 to 10. Beautiful day. Tomorrow night, mostly clear. Overnight low of 58. Winds out of the north at around 10 miles per hour. Thursday, sunny, 82 for a high. A little cooler, a little nicer. North winds, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Thursday night, mostly clear. Overnight low of 56. Friday, there is a 20% chance of showers, but mostly sunny otherwise with a high of 78 degrees. 78 on Friday. How beautiful is that? Friday night, we're looking at a slight chance, 20% chance of showers with an overnight low of 55 under mostly cloudy skies. Saturday, partly cloudy, high of 73. Should be a great final day at the fair with the junior livestock auction and the grand finale of all the rides and concerts and everything. Sunday, sunny skies, 79 for a high. So today's 89, the warmest day. Just gets slightly cooler from here. I love it. It's starting to feel fall-like, finally. All right, it is 8:21. We're going to take a 3-minute break, and then we'll have the ladies from the Chaves County Health Council join us on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Hey, Roswell! Rides Amusements is back at the Eastern New Mexico State Fair, now through October 7th. Ride the Orbiter, the Himalaya, the Vertigo 90-foot tower, and new this year, Zero Gravity. For the kids, lots of rides, too. Enjoy the cotton candy, funnel cakes, lemonade, and handmade pizza. Tuesday, October 3rd, it's Ride 'em Cowboy! Pay just $25 and you get in the gate, plus you get unlimited rides for the carnival. Rides Amusements, family fun for 61 years.
Hi, I'm Dr. Keon at Carabelli Dental. Same-day smiles are what we do. My passion is helping patients chew, talk, and live with confidence. That's why I'm one of the few doctors in the U.S. who can create beautiful same-day smiles with the latest digital implant technology. This procedure is life-changing. Just ask Sean.
Hi, I'm Sean. I've been that voice that you've heard on the radio for most of my life, but I'm also a dad to 2 amazing kids. I've had a million reasons to smile, but in all my old pictures, I was never smiling. Truth is that life of improper care and being dealt a bad hand genetically left me practically with no teeth. It affected everything from the way I ate, the way I talked, and of course how I interacted with people. And that's where Dr. Keon and Carabelli stepped in. They eased my fears. They explained every step of the process in a way that I could understand, and they made me feel almost like I was part of the team. And now, I can't stop smiling. I have so much more confidence, and I love looking in the mirror now. I can't explain how much of a difference Dr. Keon's dental implant process made for me.
Our team can help you find your smile too. Come see us at Carabelli Dental, 575-622-4455.
If you or someone you love is dealing with addiction, it's time to stop suffering and start Celebrating Recovery. Celebrate Recovery is a program designed to guide you step by step through the process of breaking free from your hurts, habits, and hang-ups and find hope and strength in recovery. A new cycle of step studies begins Monday, October 9th from 6 to 8 p.m. at Grace Community Church, 935 West Mescalero Road in Roswell. If you want more information, call 575-623-5438 or or come by Celebrate Recovery at Grace Community Church, 935 West Mescalero Road, every Friday night beginning at 5.
Are you ready to make a real difference in your community? Introducing the New Mexico Army National Guard. Serve your community with pride and become a part-time hero. Join our dedicated team and enjoy the adventure of a lifetime. Get full-time benefits without sacrificing your current career or education. When disaster strikes and your community needs assistance, you'll be there to lend a helping hand. So don't miss out on the opportunity to receive education, adventure, and financial stability, all while serving your country. Get started by calling 1-800-GO-GUARD.
It's time for the Eastern New Mexico State Fair, October 2nd through the 7th at the Eastern New Mexico State Fairgrounds in Roswell. Join KSBPTV.com for wall-to-wall coverage of the livestock events at this year's fair, from meat goats to dairy heifers and everything in between. KSBPTV.com is your home for livestock shows and sale coverage at this year's Eastern New Mexico State Fair. For a complete listing and schedule of the shows, log on to ENMSF.com. And for live and on-demand coverage of the livestock shows and sale, head for KSBPTV.com.
A Greek-Canadian man invented the Hawaiian pizza. His name was Tex Colorado, and he was from Detroit. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 8:24, and joining us in studio this morning from the Chavez County Health Council, of course, we have Emily and Carissa back with us, and Joanne as well. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
How are you doing? In unison and everything. Look at that. Perfect. So, how are you guys this morning?
Excellent.
Doing good. Doing good. Have you all been out to the fair yet, or are you gonna try to make your way down there later this week? You all got like kids or family to bring down and do all the fair stuff?
I have kids.
So
We'll go this week sometime.
So, like, what's the go-to for your kids? Like, is there a certain ride or food that they got to have when they go to the fair?
No, they like pretty much riding on all the rides.
It's not so much. It's like they don't have a favorite ride. They just want to ride the rides. They're like, no. The whole point is to ride all the rides as many times as possible. Doesn't matter which one's a favorite. We hit them all.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Which is today's the day, by the way. Today's the Ride 'em Cowboy Day. So if you want to, if you got the family and you want to save a little money doing that, everybody 2 and over that goes to the fair today will pay $25 to get into the fair. And when you get into the fair, they're going to hand you an unlimited ride armband. Normally, if you buy that armband, it's $35. And if you're an adult with not a senior or nothing, it's $12 to get into the fair. So for $25, you get both today. So take advantage of that.
Good
deal.
Yeah.
So just a tip for all you that plan on the ride. And the weather's going to be beautiful. Today's a high of 89, sunny, no rain, no wind, and I think it's getting nicer from here. So
thank goodness.
We're
I was
good.
afraid it was going to get rained out.
Yes. Well, I think we're going to be good to go. First off, before we talk about the event, I do want to put on people's radar the 211 hotline number. That is something that the Chavez County Health Council, that's kind of one of that's their big, for the public, for outreach. If you have medical, non-emergency related questions, or just really family questions, if you're trying to find a doctor for your kids, or you're trying to find financial support or government assistance for a various thing or something like that, the 211 hotline is the number for you to call. And it's not like 911. It's not 24/7, so please call it 2 in the morning. But if it's during reasonable hours, you can call the 211, and somebody will answer the phone, and then you can ask your question, like, hey, I'm new to town, and I'm looking for doctors, or how do I get with the schools and this, or I've got a grandmother who's sick and really doesn't have a provider. What do I need to do? Any of those kinds of things. That's what 211's for. So please keep that number mentally handy, or if you need to, speed dial it in your phone, or what. I know it's only 3 numbers, but it's also good general information. Like the event we're about to talk about, if you have questions about it, there's a full 7-digit number to call if you have questions. But why type 7, or actually 4 more numbers with the area code? We can only type 2. And get the same, or type 3 and get the same information here. So it is that is something available to residents here of Chavez County. Please utilize it if you have questions, anything medical related, or just needing assistance with maybe it's financial stuff, because I know you guys work with a lot of people to when the government, or when the state or some other private entity has an opportunity for folks to get like smartphones or tablets so they can do their doctor's appointments or handle their business. You guys put touching people with programs that work with that kind of stuff. So if you need that kind of information, 211 can also help you there too.
Yeah.
So that's kind of your be-all, catch-all if you've got any questions or anything like that. So I wanted to put that out there first before we do that. In case also you're just wondering who the Chaves County Health Council is, the other big thing you're probably going to know them for is the big back-to-school health expo they do every year in August, right about a week or so before, or days before the kids, depending on the school year, you know how they move the calendars around. Right before school there at the convention center, where you get all the, many of our healthcare providers with stuff on hand, giving away the backpacks and all the stuff, the bicycles, all the stuff they do. That's the Chaves County Health Council. One of the other things they do that's a little lesser known to the public is they work with our healthcare providers, our doctors, our nurses, our people in that industry, and help them, put them in touch. Like if there's trainings, like from time to time, you'll get experts and people that are very, particular medical stuff or the red tape that is to get to the medical stuff. A lot of times you bring in experts to work with our healthcare providers to get them up to speed on some of the things that are coming out in their world too. So I know that's the less sexy or less public thing, but that's very much important part and a integral part of the Health Council.
And another program that we have is the Together with Veterans program that we have just started. We're in phase 1.
Okay.
And
sounds important when you say phases, like phase 1.
And we are inviting any veteran that would like to learn more about it and may perhaps be part of our steering committee.
Okay.
Call 211 or 910
Good deal.
or 465 and get some information.
And that way, you can, for folks that maybe are veterans and they have questions about veteran services and veteran, because that's a little bit different for civilians. Once you veteran status, you do get entitled to things that, and so if you're not taking full advantage of it, please reach out to 211 or reach out and let the Health Council. And by the way, if that's not a resource, you don't feel American Legion, VFW, all of our veteran organizations are very good about that too.
Absolutely, and we're fixing to do a community readiness assessment to see what the community knows about veteran services, what's offered to our veterans, and from there, that's where our program's going to go into phase 2 eventually to see what we can do.
And we're lucky; we do have a pretty good vet rep here in our area. She does a very good job of getting. She's in 100 places at once. So she's very busy, but she's always looking out for our veterans and doing her thing. So we're very blessed to have her. Even though we need 3 more of her, we're blessed to have her. Now, that being said, we want to put an event on your radar. October 10th, which is, about a week away here? About 7 days, actually.
Exactly,
it's the 3rd, so a week away here. The Health Council has put together a suicide event, Talk to Save Lives, a awareness and prevention event. And this is kind of one of these things where it's like, we got to take the stigma out of, like, suicide. The stigma is way different than it was 30 years ago. I know you guys are younger, so you probably don't experience some of this. But when we were kids or younger, the mindset was when someone committed suicide, it was like, how selfish of them. How, you know what I mean? We almost blamed them we were mad at them. That's understandable, but that was the mindset. We didn't understand all the mental health that's going on there and their life seemed, you hear that statement. They seemed pretty happy to me, So it was kind of swept under the rug and like domestic violence, kind of in the dark corners of which we don't speak. And thank God we've wisened up there, and we are now realizing, look, this is a disease, or this is an illness. This is something. There's something not right here that's causing this to happen, and we need to help them navigate through it. So events like this bring it out of the dark corners and the shadows and things like this. Let's come into a place where we all can come in a comfortable, judgment-free zone, and just let's figure out why this is a problem, what's going on. Let's help those that are struggling with it right now. Get them resources. Get them in touch with people that can help them. But for God's sake, please don't do nothing. That's the worst thing you can do is just chalk it up to that's none of my business or I'm sure they're fine, whatever excuses. And events like this really remind us and hopefully educate us on knowing, hey, this is a thing. And guess what? To be honest, and especially in the world we live in, I think all of us are 3 steps away from, you know what I mean? It could be any one of us. If you're breathing and you're living, then this is something that can impact you. And
you start the conversation.
Yeah, so it's glad to see that you guys are doing, bringing this out, and I know you guys and I talked last time a little bit about why this has happened, and you can go back and check it out on our thing if you want to hear the whys and all that. But we would love to invite as many people as possible out to this event. Now it's going to be happening October 10th, and it's going to be happening at 1010 South Main at the Encanto Event Center. Do they need to RSVP or just show up?
No, it's open invite. Anybody that's free or able to go, we do encourage you to go. We would love to have everybody there.
Yeah, the more the merrier. And even if you don't think, like, what do I, it doesn't. You'd be surprised it does.
It's one of those things where you never know what the future holds, and it can save your life or somebody around you.
Suicide is, and I said this last time, suicide's like cancer now. And what I mean by that is how we talk about cancer, and everybody on the planet pretty much is either directly impacted by cancer or has family or friends or associates that are impacted. Suicide's pretty much the same way now. It's sad to say, but all of us can say we know someone or know someone or someone or they someone right in their inner circle, has been impacted by this, or maybe they themselves. Maybe they've tried, didn't work. Maybe they've been thinking about it, and that's just it. And that's the thing about mental health. It's good till it's not. And you gotta be maintaining it and always fostering it. And so I think this event, if nothing else, will remind us all to take care of ourselves as much as anything else. And we're so. And it's easy to take care of others and to sacrifice for yourself in some way. Some of us are built that way. It's like, don't worry about me. And so they will go to the end of the world to help someone else, but won't do the same for themselves. And it's okay to do that for yourself too.
Yes.
That's what we need to remind people.
Well, even here in Chavez County, we have made a lot of progress, but there is a big stigma still, and there's a lot of beliefs that mental health doesn't exist and suicide it doesn't happen here, but it does happen here. And even if you don't believe in it, I think it's still good to go to see it from a different point of view, and maybe you can understand it better.
Well, it's hard to put a finger on it. Yeah. That's why people have a stigma or have and and let's face it, mental health is the by far the most behind in the world of medicine. We are 100 years ahead of the schedule in other areas of medicine compared to mental health, and that's because of the way mental health has been treated. Years ago, you put them away, you put them in a thing. We don't speak of them. The asylums, and now we turn. And to be honest, what we're doing today is not the right answer either. We've got to find, because you can't just let people go around doing what they want. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
they need some support. They need guidance. They need help. They need treatment. They don't need to be just turned loose and say, good luck to you either. They need help. And so we got to find that balance. And suicide prevention is one of those things, because if we just took a modicum of interest, even half the interest we take now, just to up it a little bit, I guarantee we could save so many lives.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? If we just put half the effort that we put into some of these other things, we could save so many lives and so many. And to be honest, it just takes that moment of a little bit of compassion. Put and we as humans all have to figure out a way to put our own hang-ups aside sometimes for the things. And so you can't, if you're doing with your own, because that's, and this is, I'm getting way philosophical, but as humans, I think we tend to put ourselves in every situation. You know what I mean? And so, like when someone's having a problem, if you can't relate to it, then you don't, like, you try to put yourself there, and it's like, well, I could never do that. Then you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so we tend to not, we always try to compare it to us.
Right.
And I get it because that's our reference. We know us, so that's what we compare it to. But it doesn't give you a real answer when it comes to these things because you don't know what they're thinking. You don't know what they like and what they feel. It's not the same as you. And that's okay, but how they look at things is different than how you look at things. So so you got to remember that. We all have to understand that. And I think that's part of some of that stigma. It's like, and it can happen to any one of you. I know for a fact there's been a point in everyone's life where you felt down in the dumps and upset at yourself and ready to, like, screw it. You know, we all had that moment. We're like, what am I doing here? Or want to throw your hands up. We all have that moment at some point in our life. And at that moment, it feels like the worst thing, and there's nothing past that. But once you stop a second, all right, you know, and then that's where we got to kind of figure that out and understand it. And I think having events where we can talk about this stuff and compare and share experiences and do that, that's how you solve these problems. I mean, you can get a doctor in a room to lecture everybody, and then you might take some of that information in, but I think it really learn more when you get people with shared experiences and people that talk not because they read about it in a book or went to school for 50 years. And I'm not saying that's important. That's important. You need to do that. But when you're in the room and it happens to you personally, you can't compare that to anything else. And so if you're feeling and living, or you had family and feeling, you can't, it's hard to transfer that to somebody else without, you know, them seeing it and experiencing it too sometimes. And so I think events like this where you get to sit and talk have way more headway than just being lectured to sometimes. So please, that being said, talk a little bit about some of the things that like how the event's going to go and some of the things that you're going to be doing at the event on the 10th.
So in the beginning, we're going to have surveys to, like, get kind of the community's point of view of behavioral health here in Chavez County. That's
like what they're using, what their access to, what they need, what they're looking for, that kind of stuff.
Kind of.
Okay.
Something like that. And it gives them a chance to say, like, what we can do, like, as community health workers to go into Chavez County and help more, or even, like, around New Mexico. And then if they do want resources, they have an option to put their information, and we can reach back out to them and connect.
So basically,
with them.
get in the mix for some of these services and things like that.
And the first 40 will receive a $5 gift card and register for a $100 drawing.
Nice. So some extra swag just as an incentive to come.
Yes.
Come for the benefits. Stay for the swag.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, and that's really because I can tell you right now, the folks that are going to come, when they start getting the help and seeing, that's going to be such a weight lifted, you know, because I know, you know, we burden ourselves and worry. And when you are able to make headway with something like that, it feels so good to solve that problem. So even if you don't win the swag bag, you're going to come out feeling kind of because you're like, hey, I got something
211 will be right
checked
there.
off the list here.
211 will be right there with resources.
Yes.
There you go. And so if you have other questions too that aren't necessarily related to suicide prevention but are in the field, we got 211 Live. Maybe you should call it. Do music 211 Live and get a whole thing of it. Just kidding. But so that's part of it. What's next? It's also part of the event.
Afterwards, there'll be guest speakers. We have Jennifer Smith, our vice chair.
She's been on the show many times. You're with us? Yeah.
And she'll do her presentation, and then Mike Harrington as well. He's going to talk from a first responder's point of view.
Yeah, because they see way more than we do, and they see the darkest, dirtiest parts and things like that. So.
Yes, and they also have people like going to them, like, because I mean, obviously they have to deal with the bad in Chavez County, so sometimes these people react on a part of mental health of something they're going through, so they see it completely different than we do as community members.
Well, and for folks that don't realize it, our officers, particularly the real good ones, they're not just police officers. They're referees, they're guidance counselors, they're therapists. They are that sounding board for many folks. Like when they deal with like homeless or someone in there and they're dealing with issues in mental health, guess who's the one that's talking to them, trying to help them in some way? The bare minimum, at least give them water and something to drink and that kind of stuff. These officers are there, and I've been on ride along with them, and I've seen firsthand when they go into these alleys, into the parts of this city that exist that most of us don't think or know about. And you know what I mean? You get down these alleys and you're like, this is still Roswell. And people don't go down them because they're not savory places. And they're in there helping people. And you see people just laying up against a fence or something. They're talking to them and taking care of, making sure they're physically okay, but then B, mentally they're okay. And making sure that they're in a good place. And because let's face it, is America. If you want to sit in an alley on a fence at your right, you can do that. But, most of us don't want to.
Yeah, absolutely.
So they check in on them and things like that.
Well, also, I mean, police officers are human as well, and they go through things. So it's nice for people to see that it doesn't matter who you are. It happens to everybody.
You see the badge and you see authority,
Yeah.
and then you talk, and then talk like your cousin, and then you're happy.
Yeah.
So you're like, all right, cool. You're not such the big bad wolf. You just sound like my cousin. And so that's what we want to do that. So again, it's going to be October 10th, 1 week from today, I think, right?
Yes.
Yeah, 1 week from today. Again, it's going to be at the Encanto Event Center, which is 1010 South Main. If you have questions, want more information, the Chaves County Health Council has the Facebook page. You can shoot a message through there. And, of course, the one we've been telling you for the last 20 minutes, 211. Call that, and they can get you information about this, too. As far as coming, do you recommend, like, people bring things with them? Or is there anything you recommend that they like come prepared to do?
No, just prepared to learn.
Okay.
We are having an honorary slideshow to agree.
Honor our folks fighting and things like that, and those that have lost the battle.
Yeah, so if anybody has any pictures they want to submit of a loved one that they've lost, we'll all grieve together and
celebrate their lives, celebrate how awesome these people were, and even though we only had them for a limited time, the time that we had them, we celebrated.
Yes,
that's what you do. I know it's hard.
Yes,
it's very hard to do that, but that's how you got to do it. You got to remember the good. Because if you get focused in the bad, then, well, you're going to see the other problems that will spiral from that. It's just, that's how humans are. That's how our brains are crazy little things. They do things that we don't understand sometimes. Right. They just are. They're like that. So, but please come if you're, especially if you yourself are feeling, not happy, or you've got family that you just don't. Because I'm sure all of us have some family members like they just don't seem right lately and all this. Right. Please, the worst thing you can do is just chalk it up to they'll be fine. Please talk with them. Come to this event. Find resources. Find ways to maybe make some headway in these things and
you'll get
find
some
support.
Tips on how to begin the conversation if you feel like someone's not quite right. It's a hard conversation.
Right. Well, it very much is because you're there from a place of good. But they're going to be defensive. 9 times out of 10, a person that you're accusing of, or not accusing, but just trying to confront about.
It's a touchy
subject. It's no different than like interventions for drug dealers, but people addicted to drugs and things, they're going to be defensive. And especially if they're, depending on where they're at, like if they've kind of made up the mind that they're going to do this, and they're and weirdly enough, they're probably going to be at peace sometimes. That once the decision's made, I'm not saying this is every time. I'm just saying this is a common thing. And once that they've kind of set it in their head that this is what I'm going to do, they get a weird sense of peace, calming to it, because they're like, at least I know now. There's an outcome here. And I think that's where and so you gotta read the tea leaves. And it's not hard because no one comes with an instruction manual. And so and then you don't want to be invasive either because you don't want to go gangbusters in there, and it turns out that they're fine. That's what they're into.
Well, that's what's so great about this event is we're trying to let people know that you're not alone.
Yes.
So
that's just every single one of us is. I don't care who you are. If you're a person, you're impacted by this. Yeah. One way, shape, or form. Even if you don't know anyone. You've had a bad day. You've dealt with the symptoms. You're just able to deal with them in a way that some people aren't sometimes. Or you get enough of those in a row, it's going to catch up with you. Humans are, we have breaking points. We have, points of no return. All of us do. Some are higher than others.
Everybody handles every situation differently.
Yeah. Some are very good at stress and some aren't. And look at like Robin Williams. Look at Robin Williams. You look at Robin Williams, and everybody that saw him in his day and time were like, He was always happy, and he killed himself because of the demons and the mental health and the things that were going on there. And what made him funny was probably also what was torturing him, but we don't know that.
Yeah.
And so we see something like that, we're like, oh man, he was rich, I wish I had him, you know what I mean? We all compare ourselves to them.
Right.
And
I think that's why kindness is so important nowadays, because you don't know what people are dealing with in their personal lives. They can look absolutely fine and happy on the outside, but you don't know.
And some are
what
better
they're going
at
through.
hiding it than others. It's no different than alcoholism or some of these addictions.
That smile could make their day.
Hello.
And that's another thing too. You don't realize where people how close someone was, and then you walk and you're just nice for someone for a minute, and they're like, oh, maybe I don't know how many times have a bad day, and then you go to a restaurant or something, and the waitress is just real nice, or just oh, here's
and
a
it
free.
gives them hope.
Yes. And that spreads like diseases. It spreads too.
Yes.
Happiness spreads just like the bad stuff, and so use it that way. And so, but that's what this event's about. It's let's share. We may not have all the answers right away. Like, we're not going to solve everybody's problem. You can't. That's physically impossible. But you know what? We want to at least say we're aware, we're in the room, we're here. Talk to us. Come, whatever you do. Let's stay in the loop together. Let's stay in touch. Let's keep together.
Everybody goes through things, but not everybody has people to rely back on. So this event will also show you that there's community members that will be there for you.
Yeah. Use this as a social thing. Like, you want to make some friends and maybe make your next little Friday night hangout group or something. You might, weirdly enough, you might meet him at a suicide prevention event. Why not? I think that would be great. There's strength in numbers. When you find common ground, that's where the love and the beauty happens, man. That's where it all goes.
And you always find the best people unexpected, so you never know.
Some of my favorite stories I see, like when you see all the TikTok videos and of course, there's plenty of falling and fightings and all that, but one of the good ones that always makes me happy every single time, it gets me every time. I mean, the reunite with dogs and stuff, that gets you every time. But the other one that gets me every time is like when there is two people from completely two different backgrounds. Usually it's an older gentleman and a younger minority child. And I love how every time that they come from two complete different worlds and they find common ground and end up being the best of friends. I love hearing those stories every time where two people from two complete different walks of life, two different generations, come together, and next thing you know, they're like each other's best friends / mentors. I don't know how many times you'll hear like an old grandparent falls in, meets some high school basketball kid or something. It turns out that serves as like a mentor / friend, and now 30 years later, that person's depending how old they were still in their lives and doing all that kind of stuff. Those are my favorite ones, and because that is the best of humanity right there. That's life in a nutshell. That's what we want. That when we talk about what's a happy life, that's it in a TikTok video right there.
Absolutely.
To me. That's it. It's those connections. It's that learning and realizing that doesn't matter who we are, where we come from. We have a lot in common.
Absolutely.
We all want the same things, really. I mean, not specifically, but generally. We want to be happy. We want the best for our loved ones and ourselves. We want success for ourselves and our family. We all want that. So let's all agree that we want that. And then once we go there, we can figure out the rest. Yeah. We can avoid it where we're not dealing with such mental health and issues.
Be kind and uplift the other one. You know, it's very simple.
It's you got to do the groundwork here. Hopefully what we're doing there is talking about this so we don't get to this point where you're talking and thinking about the alternative. Yes. And that's what we want. And it's just trying to navigate life together. We're humans are a networking people. We have to, we need each other to we can try to be individuals, and some of us are loners by nature and try to do as much as we can on our own, but it's not our DNA. It's not how humanity is made up. We need each other in some way, shape, or form. We all need to get along and to coexist and to give ourselves that space. And if once you get that part, then the mental health side gets better. If you come from a place of love with everything you do, you're doing right. You're doing okay. Yes. Even if you screw up, it's okay.
Right.
It's okay. You could still be wrong. As long as what you're doing is coming from a place of love, we can get past it. We can figure it out. And so please come to this event. I know I got way deep. I know I do that, but this is one of those areas where we come and come to the meeting and do all that, but it's deeper than that.
Yes,
this is trying to make connections. This is trying to really show people they belong, show sense that you're cared for, you're loved. No matter what hurdles this world has thrown at you, there's people that love and care about you and want to see the best for you and want you to succeed. Sometimes they're your blood. Sometimes they're not.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. There's people out there that love you and care about you and want the best. Even if they've never met you, there's still people that love and care and want the best for you. And you're probably going to meet some on Tuesday night of next week on the 10th. Please come out and be a part.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Good deal. What else? Now that I got all heavy and dark. Do we get it all?
Well, let's just throw out there that the 988 number. If you if you are going through a crisis,
and that's nationally. Each state has their own, but it's the same number nationally.
Absolutely.
New Mexico has one. 988. That is your mental health 911 number, basically.
Yes.
If you're dealing with depression, mental health, if you're suicidal, any of the above, that 988 number is available 24/7. There will be a live person on the other side to talk with you and do whatever you want to do.
You can text also.
That 988.
Text and chat, yes.
You young folks that do that in case you want to text. Although I gotta be, my thumbs will get tired about 10 minutes in. I was like, can I just say it?
I'll call you now.
I don't want to take this whole sentence. I just want to say it. So I get that. But is there anything else we missed about the event or we wanted to cover? Or anything that we wanted to share?
No, I don't think so.
All right. Come on out again.
There will be snacks and drinks there too.
Of course, there's food. Whenever there's people, there's going to be food. If we ain't eating, we ain't congregating. But again, October 10th, 1 week from today, next Tuesday. I forgot to say the times. I think the doors will open at 5:30. The presentation will start at 6 p.m. So you can get there at 5:30. Again, it's going to be at the Encanto Event Center, which is located at 1010 South Main. If you have any questions about anything we talked about here, 211, or you can look at the Chavez County Health Council Facebook page and shoot a message, or you'll find the flyer for this event there and a lot of the other stuff, too. Of course, you want to learn more about 211 or 988, it's all there, too. So, good deal.
Sir.
Well, thank you, ladies.
Thank
you.
And we'll see you guys next time.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
All right. Don't work too hard.
Thank you.
Try to get out the fair and let your kids ride all the rides.
Right.
Do it today so you don't go broke. It's 8:56. Quick break before news. Don't go away.
All across America, this is the Lou Dobbs Business Report.
I'm Lou Dobbs. The Fed's rate decision this week. Instacart IPO ahead, and the Fed's September meeting kicks off tomorrow. Investors hoping for a pause in interest rate hikes. Stocks down last week after mixed economic data on inflation and rate hike speculation. The Fed's decision comes Wednesday. ARM Holdings IPO success causing a ripple effect on Wall Street. Instacart raising its proposed price range after ARM shares jumped 25%. Now, 22 million shares of Instacart will be sold at $28 to $30 each. The Instacart IPO is set for tomorrow. McDonald's says that a California fast food bill would be a devastating financial blow. A last-minute compromise sets a $20 wage floor for most fast food restaurants next year. McDonald's and Yum Brand stocks nonetheless down 2%. FedEx headlines this week's earnings reports. The shipping giant's seen renewed success this year after a down year in 2022. The stock's up 43% year to date, and FedEx reports earnings Wednesday. Please join me twice each weekday for the Lou Dobbs Business Report right here.
Business news you need to know. Keep listening for more. This is the Lou Dobbs Business Report.
If you're a business owner, you need to know about the ERC program because you may be eligible for a refund of up to $26,000 per W-2 employee if you had employees on the payroll during the pandemic. ERC, or the Employee Retention Credit Program, is a government initiative to help business owners. Visit governmentaid.com to find out if you qualify. The process of filing is complex, and the team at governmentaid.com has the expertise to help. Visit governmentaid.com to see if you qualify for a refund. That's governmentaid.com.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Pretty warm today. Sunshine with high pressure moving in for a little while. It might be breezy. Our afternoon high will be in the upper 80s. For the overnight hours, maybe a few clouds, upper 50s and low 60s. We do have a little system moving back in on Wednesday. Could bring us a few showers. Mix of sunshine and clouds, and we'll stay in the mid 80s. We're back to sunny weather on Thursday, low 80s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
It's time to stock up on beef. Do it the most affordable way by buying a whole or half beef from Runyon Cattle. A whole beef feeds a family of 4 for nearly a year. Buy your meat in bulk for about $6 a pound. Skip the store and skip the wait lines. Beef isn't something that you should have to wait on. Stock up on New Mexico homegrown grass-fed and grass-finished beef today by calling Lisa with Runyon Cattle at 760-5655. That's 760-5655. Delivered to your home freezer.
I was driving home from work.
I got off the bus on my way home from work.
I drive the same way every day.
I get off the same stop every day.
Driving through the intersection.
Walking through the intersection.
I didn't even see her.
I didn't even see him. Then it was too late.
When you're walking.
When you're driving, look for me.
Drivers, look for pedestrians. Pedestrians, look for drivers. Sponsored by NMDOT and aired in cooperation with the NMBA and this station.
Hugh Hewitt is now in Roswell on 106.5 FM KEND Roswell.
And we're closing in on news. Town Hall News up next here. We'll be back on the other side of news. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters. We'll be back.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Well, as expected, Hunter Biden pleading not guilty in Delaware to 3 federal firearms charges. The charges were filed after a plea deal fell apart when it was scrutinized by a judge. It's a plea deal that critics had decried as a sweetheart deal for the presidential son. The next Republican presidential primary debate, the Trump camp says, forget about it.
Trump campaign senior advisors are calling on Republican Party officials to immediately cancel the upcoming debate, even though the former president is not planning to participate. The advisors said the GOP should end all future debates so the party can focus on and prevent Democrats' efforts to steal the 2024 election. The statement came on the same day an angry Donald Trump showed up for the start of a New York City trial in his fraud lawsuit. Greg Clugston, Washington.
A Texas congressman carjacked just a short distance from the U.S. Capitol.
The office of Texas Democrat Henry Cuellar says the congressman was parking his car Monday evening when 3 armed assailants approached him and stole his vehicle. Cuellar's chief of staff says the congressman was not harmed and is working with local law enforcement. The Washington Post is reporting that the robbery happened in Washington's Navy Yard area, about 1 mile from the U.S. Capitol. Cuellar's chief of staff says the vehicle has been recovered. Donna Ward, Washington.
It was a fingerprint on a ransom note that New York State Police say led them to the kidnapper of a 9-year-old girl. Rescued, she's now back with her family safe and sound. There is a 47-year-old suspect under arrest, and at last word, charges were pending in that case. The sell-off continues on Wall Street this hour. The Dow down 358 points. NASDAQ is off 228. More on these stories, townhall.com.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 866-755-5300. That's 866-755-5300. Again, that's 866-755-5300. Call us right now.
Turkey launches a series of raids in the aftermath of a deadly bombing.
Police have detained over 60 people across Turkey in a sweep targeting people with alleged links to Kurdish militants, days after a suicide bomb attack in the Turkish capital. The Interior Minister says police carried out raids in 16 Turkish provinces, detaining dozens suspected of being part of what's referred to as the intelligence structure of the outlawed Kurdistan Workers' Party, or PKK. Around 12 other suspects have been rounded up in a separate operation in 5 provinces. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
The Armenian parliament has voted to join the International Criminal Court, which earlier this year indicted Russia's Putin for war crimes stemming from the deportation of children from Ukraine. The move likely to further strain Armenia's deteriorating relations with its ally Russia. Last month, Russia called Armenia's drive to join the ICC an unfriendly step. Townhall.com. Vice President Harris to do the honors when LaFonza Butler is sworn in this week to serve in the U.S. Senate.
California Governor Gavin Newsom selected the longtime abortion advocate to fill the seat vacated last week with the passing of longtime California Senator Dianne Feinstein. The 44-year-old Butler makes history as the first black lesbian and the first LGBTQ person to represent California in the upper chamber. She's only the third black woman elected to the Senate. She'll be sworn in by Kamala Harris, who also represented California there until she left to become U.S. Vice President in 2021. Bob Agnew reported.
The National Zoo's 3 giant pandas set to return to China in early December, with no signs that the 50-year-old exchange agreement that was struck by President Nixon will continue. China appears to be gradually pulling back its pandas from Western zoos as their agreements expire. More on these stories, townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The devil listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome. I do mean welcome.
He does.
To hour number 3. Mornings with Mike Wynn. You know what? I ain't gonna lie. It's only Tuesday, but it feels like Friday already.
Dude.
Like, I feel like there has been so much that's been going on already.
Don't even get me started.
But it's like, it's only Tuesday.
I'll say this. I love my bed. Like, I love my bed so much.
Mm-hmm.
It falling into my bed after an entire day of work yesterday, and I know it's going to be like that for the rest of it. The fact that I'm here, you're welcome. I really did not want to get out of my bed this morning. What can I say except you're welcome?
Yep, he's living off funnel cake.
Which surprisingly is healthy. It's more healthy than you think.
Well, yeah, we looked it up the other day, and of all the things at the fair, funnel cake is one of the more healthier options.
Not the worst thing for you. It's only like 300 and something calories, like 12 grams of fat, 30
Like, it's not
carbs.
as many carbs as we thought it was going to be.
It's like 2 cans of soda.
Yeah.
Basically.
Which, we do that in a minute.
I could double fist a couple cans and get solid 5 minutes.
But I still think the giant turkey leg is probably more carb friendly than that funnel cake.
Oh, yeah.
If you're counting carbs.
Only slightly. They brown sugar based it, but it is.
Well, if you put fruit on it.
On your turkey leg?
Oh, on the funnel cake.
Oh, okay.
Or you can put fruit on the the turkey cake too. Why don't you throw some cranberry? Yeah, throw some cranberry sauce on there. You're probably all right. Or a cranberry dip.
See, now there maybe. You lean toward the Thanksgivingness of it all.
Like a dipping glaze to dip your turkey into? Why not?
Just put it all in a blender. Make it a smoothie.
And then when you're done with that hot mess, go and touch all the stuff in the education building. With your sticky hands.
Well, we established yesterday, if you walk into the livestock pavilion, they rub their things on things.
They do. They rub things on things over there, so be careful.
Just something to bear in mind. But just a programming note, if you want to keep up with the livestock shows and sale, you can go to ksvptv.com, click on the ENMSF tab, and check it out in their entirety. And we're out there from 5:30 to 8 every night this week.
Yeah, Sean will be out. He's in the commercial building.
Right in front of the National Furniture Liquidators booth, smack dab between Donald Trump and Jesus.
Yeah. He'll be the guys.
What better place?
I'm telling you, it's terror. The amount of guilt I feel during these broadcasts, I'm like, oh, God.
It's funny. It's funny. He'll get the big cowboy taters and then go under the table to eat it because he doesn't want Jesus him to watch him.
What I do is I bring it to the table, but then I put a sheet over my head so that the Lord can't see my shame.
Can't see me here. But he will be there. Actually, he'll probably be the guy in the recliner there or the bed.
I was hoping to take advantage of some of the furnishings there.
I was gonna say, when a furniture store brings furniture, you got to try it out. That's the saying. You know, I'm sleeping in a bed at the commercial building.
I did take a little toy with me last night just to kind of stave off some of the boredom. We've brought up the fact that I have a little bit of a Temu addiction.
He does.
And I purchased off of Temu a remote. It's a tank. It's got a camera on it, and you can control it with your phone, and like the video will be on the phone. So I took that out with me to the fair last night. I quickly realized I cannot use this in the commercial building because everyone's feet are there. Like I slightly moved it out from under the table, and it was just like foot. I'm like, okay, we're not going to play with this right now, I guess.
So no tank appearance last night.
Not so much
at the fair. Well, maybe tonight. Yeah. Maybe make some room.
Once everybody clears out a little bit, find a nice quiet space.
I wonder if you could put something on it to make the crowd part.
Like an alarm?
Something.
Or a taser?
Or just I don't know. Something
pepper spray bottle set to
something
on.
that emits smell, maybe. Maybe like something that emits stink spray.
There you go.
As it goes through. People get out of the way for that.
Put one of those remote control fart machines on it.
Just creep up behind people. Move along. Problem is the thing's loud, so it can't sneak away. Like if you try to drive it, it's it ain't sneaking up on nobody. But
we haven't reached the technology for stealth yet.
Yes. So that's where Sean got his. That's where his toy. That's where he's going to be entertained this week. So, but yeah, fair is going on all week. Get out there and don't forget, as I mentioned earlier, today's Ride 'em Cowboy Day. So everybody 2 and older will pay $25 to get into the fair today, and you will not only get into the fair, but they will hand you an unlimited ride armband to go with your admission, so you can ride all the rides as part of your $25 admittance into the fair today. So that's today only.
Pre-K fair day, so the kiddos are out there right now enjoying some of the fair festivities.
The youngins?
Yeah.
They're out there.
Just got a call from Kid's mom and Hunter. They're out enjoying the fair right now.
Cool. Do they get to ride the rides and all that?
I think so, because one of the teachers was saying that some of the rides will be open. I'm pretty sure they're not going on the zipper. But
they're pre-K kids.
Come on, kids, get in the Gravitron.
Hey, let's pile into this big dangerous thing, little kids. Come on.
But yeah, I think it's like the livestock pavilion's open, the arts and crafts and commercial building, just sort of a free reign thing.
Good deal. Yeah. Well, cool. Well, have fun. And then don't forget tomorrow's Senior Day.
Yes.
Seniors 55 and up, free admission into the fair all day long. And they will have over in the Hobson building, they'll have some events and things just for seniors over there. Shows and food and learned things for you to do over there. So
all with amplified sound.
And the train. They're going to have the carts running back and forth. So if you need assistance to get to and fro, they will have the cart brigade moving people around and do that. Gate 2. There you go. Thank you. See, coming in all kinds of information.
Your brochure that came in the paper.
So, I didn't even know that one. I was like, it's one of them. I don't know.
By the way, speaking of going in gates and all that, Friday and Saturday will be the big Pecos Valley Ranch Rodeo. If you are coming out for the rodeo, you will park in the main parking lot of the fair.
Right.
Do not park by the rodeo arena. They won't let you.
Nope.
Unless you're riding, as I said earlier, unless you're riding or roping something in the rodeo, you will not park over there.
I can bring my horse in the trailer instead of part of the rodeo park.
Yeah, they can get you.
There you go.
Yes, you can try that. I don't know how it'll work for you.
Get my horse out and try it. I'm sure he would love to be a Bucky Bronco.
But they want everyone to go. And by the way, when you pay to get into the fair, that includes your admission into the rodeo and all the concerts. So if there's a concert that night when you're there or the rodeo's going on, since you're in the fair, you've got admission. So go enjoy those parts of the fair as well, too.
Watch the circus guy who performs right outside the commercial building on a rollabola. I just learned what that is. You ever seen those dudes who stand on like the platform on the cylinder and they like balance?
Yeah.
That's called a rollabola. I did not know that until last night.
Some guy named Bola fall off that thing and said, "Oh, we'll call it a rollabola."
There you go.
Bola went rolling on that
Bola's
thing.
rolling.
That's a rollabola. John Bola.
Admittedly, it was pretty funny to watch the guy get up and he did it successfully. He was on a platform and he got the balance up. But at least 4 people I heard in the audience go, fall. Of
course, that's what everybody wants.
Everybody was just like, it was so funny though to hear people fall. Because we were like,
that's humanity.
Yeah, but he was where you are to me.
Wow.
From the audience, and they were just like, fall.
Well, back in the day.
That's right.
Back in the day, we used to fight lions in a ring to the death and each other. So it doesn't. So I think we've tamed up a little bit.
That was before cable. All right, we had to entertain ourselves somehow. Feed the Christians to the lions.
Don't act like everybody else doesn't do it. Like you watch America's Got Talent, and they've got like the people doing the pyramid and
100%.
There's a bunch going. What if they fall? What happens if they fall? What's that going to look like?
Do you remember the season? I don't know if you watch it regularly, but there was a season where the guy's talent was he was a high jumper. He would jump from a platform into like a pool of water.
Okay.
And the platform kept getting higher and higher every episode. But yeah, that's the only reason anybody watched his stunt was you just want to see him mess it up.
It's the time he messes it up. Yeah.
Exactly.
He got more. He got more run on the failures than he did. Like we still talk about the rocket cannon thing, and that's the biggest failure of them all. He literally just went down the hole, like Charlie Coyote style.
Right. Even left a little poof at the bottom.
Yeah, I think there was a Yahoo. That's goofy. I messed up my cartoons, but you get the mix. But he actually made some jumps. We don't talk about those. We always talk about the ones Caesar's Palace. He ate it at Caesar's Palace. That's all the one we talked about. He ate it the Grand Canyon jump. We didn't talk about the other ones. Same thing with his son. His son went compete him. We didn't care. As soon as he failed, look at Robbie Knievel. We lost him too now. There's no Knievel left, or at least running. Yeah, Robbie died during COVID there a year or two ago.
Was it COVID?
I don't know if it was COVID, but it was during COVID. It was during COVID. I don't know if it was.
That's
COVID.
real. I mean, if you live your life doing stunts and like life-threatening stunts, and you die from like something silly, that's.
Well, in all fairness, I don't think he's the epitome of health. Like he's probably I think Robbie Knievel was known for drinking and drugs and all kinds of those things too. Yeah. I think apple didn't fall far from the tree.
Look, you got to kill the pain somehow. All right.
Well,
you break 37 bones.
If your idea is to get on this motorcycle and shoot over this thing, sorry, not everything's firing right up in your brain up there. True. That's a good idea to you. That's why Burt Reynolds. I mean, he was a stunt guy, actor. Yeah. But stunt guys are very much into
they got
taking care of their pain.
Well, they do. They are their own medicators in many cases.
It's just when you're in pain, numb feels so good.
But so anyway, I don't know where I was going with all that. I completely forgot.
We go on tangents.
I got the evil Knievel and everything else. It happens every day. I don't know why I'm surprised.
The point is, Senior Day tomorrow at the Eastern New Mexico State Fair.
Yeah, that's where I started with all that. Senior Day at the fair. World peace.
Yes.
All right. It is 9:17. Lori Schott's going to join us here to talk a couple different things here we got going on. So we'll get up to date with Lori here in just a few. But before we do that, let's take a look at your weather, and I think we're going to be all right. The weather is cooperating. We'll be all right.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Pretty warm today. Sunshine with high pressure moving in for a little while. It might be breezy. Our afternoon high will be in the upper 80s. For the overnight hours, maybe a few clouds, upper 50s and low 60s. We do have a little system moving back in on Wednesday. Could bring us a few showers. Mix of sunshine and clouds, and we'll stay in the mid 80s. We're back to sunny weather on Thursday, low 80s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 69 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity still up there at 87%. Winds are out of the south at 12. That'll help with the humidity. A little bit of breeze makes it feel not so bad. Sunny today, 89 for our high. And to be honest, I'm looking at the week. Today's the hot day, 89. Winds will be out of the southwest, 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tonight, clear skies, overnight low of 56 degrees. Excuse me, hiccups. Winds will be out of the southwest, 5 to 15 miles per hour. Wednesday, smidge cooler, mostly sunny, 84 for a high. West winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Wednesday night, clear, overnight low of 58 degrees. North winds at around 10 miles per hour. Thursday, a little bit cooler, sunny, 82 for a high. Winds out of the north, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Clear Thursday night with an overnight low of 56. I love these overnight lows in the 50s, too. That makes me happy. A little bit closer to feeling like fall. Friday, there is a 20% chance of rain, but for the day, mostly sunny, high of 78. Upper 70s on Friday. How awesome is that? Friday night, we're also looking at a 20% chance at rain, mostly cloudy, 55 for an overnight low. And then Saturday, partly cloudy, 73 for a high, low 70s on Saturday. And then Sunday, sunny and 79. So enjoy it. And then for Monday, Columbus Day, by the way, 84. Back up in the 80s there. All right, it is 9:20. We're going to take a 2.5-minute break, and then Lori Schatz will join us, talk Kiwanis, community theater, Desert Willow, all the above here next. Don't go away.
Hey, Roswell! Rides Amusements is back at the Eastern New Mexico State Fair, now through October 7th. Ride the Orbiter, the Himalaya, the Vertigo 90-foot tower, and new this year, Zero Gravity. For the kids, lots of rides, too. Enjoy the cotton candy, funnel cakes, lemonade, and handmade pizza. Tuesday, October 3rd, it's Ride 'em Cowboy! Pay just $25 and you get in the gate, plus you get unlimited rides for the carnival. Rides Amusements, family fun for 61 years.
Your locally owned and operated Big O Tires has the best deals on tires, brakes, oil changes, and more. Now through October 29th, get $70 to $100 instant savings on 4 select in-stock Pirelli, Goodyear, and Cooper tires. Plus, synthetic blend oil changes for just $24.95 and full synthetic oil changes for just $44.95. These savings won't last. Make an appointment online or head into Big O Tires today. Big O Tires, the team you trust.
Wakefield Oil Company is a name you can rely on with full service at the pump the way it used to be. You can expect service in just 15 seconds. They offer bulk fuel and oil services and even diesel exhaust fluid. Wakefield Oil Company will deliver to farms, ranches, dairies, the oil fields, and more with dependable service you can count on. So the next time you need service or delivery, go with the name that locals have trusted since 1983. Wakefield Oil Company, 311 South Virginia in Roswell. Let them earn your business.
The Eastern New Mexico State Fair 101 It's Going to Be Fun is happening October 2nd through the 7th. And Wright's Amusement, North America's longest running carnival, is back to bring all the fun. Unlimited ride armbands are $35 each day. On Tuesday, it's Ride 'em Cowboy Day with a $25 fair admission that includes an unlimited ride armband perfect for families and large groups. Wednesday night is Dollar Ride Night for all rides. And on Thursday, bring in 2 cans of food and get an unlimited ride armband for $25. The fun is waiting for you at the Eastern New Mexico State Fair in Roswell and paid for by Roswell Lodgers Tax.
Coming to the Liberty, Friday, October 6th. Catch Jamie Richards.
Don't try to find me.
With 12 #1 Texas country hits and records recorded by artists like Cody Jenks, Hal Ketchum, Kevin Fowler, Walt Wilkins, and many more. Get tickets and more info at thelibertyinc.com.
She's cold as that beer she's drinking.
Jamie Richards. Friday, October 6th at the Liberty in Roswell.
It's possible to turn peanut butter into diamonds. Peter Pan tried it with his buddy Skippy, but they couldn't do it in a jiff. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 22 minutes after 9 o'clock, and joining now officially in studio, Lori Schatz with us this morning. Good morning. How are you today?
Good morning. Good. A little sore, but good.
Sore?
I got run over by my horse and got whiplash and
Oh, no.
concussion.
Oh, no. How long ago was that?
Last Tuesday
Oh,
night.
wow. Did the horse just not want you on that
food
day?
aggressive towards the other horse, and I happened to be in the right place at the wrong
So
time.
you got in the middle of a spat.
I did. So
Yeah, and it's one thing when it's your puppies, but when it's two horses, it's a little bit different.
and then I adopted a 3-legged dog named Ahab after Moby Dick.
Okay.
And he is sweet and kind to everything but cats, and I have cats, so that's been a joy to try to keep them in separate rooms, and I've never had that problem. Every animal indoors has always at least tolerated.
Yeah, coexisted.
So I got home last night, and the 3-legged dog had somehow opened the closet in the hallway and gotten in, and the closet door was closed. I couldn't find him. He didn't bark, and all of a sudden, an hour after looking for him, I hear,
I'm going to guess cat assistance.
could be.
I'm going to guess cat. I'm going to say that
get
cat.
one of those cameras.
The door
I
got
really
figured
need
out
to
how
see
to
it.
open, and the dog got curious, and the cat saw it. As soon as the dog walked in, the cats were bam. We're done with that for the rest of the day. Let's go.
That's awesome. Oh. But yeah, so I don't have any children or anything, but I feel for them every time I get a new animal. I'm like, okay, this is what it's like. Until we all settle into a pattern.
Sure.
So it hasn't happened yet, but that's all right. That's what life's about, the adventures, right?
We'll get to the kumbaya eventually.
Yeah. He didn't chew on anything or anything. He was just extremely happy when I opened the door.
Imagine.
He was like, oh, there you are. I was
Hey.
like, oh my gosh, how did you get in here? But he's smart, I'll tell you that. Or dumb, whichever way you want to look at it.
Good deal.
But
That's fun either way. I know it gets frustrating when you get home, but that's the beauty of having
Right.
pets and the fun and
Right.
the love and joy they bring and the goofiness that they bring. That's all part of the fun.
yep, it keeps me going.
Well, speaking of animals, we'll start with Desert Willow here.
Sure.
Might as well transition. We'll call that a segue.
So their long name is what?
It's a Desert Willow.
Wildlife Willow Desert Rehabilitation Center in Carlsbad. It's located in Carlsbad, but we serve southeast New Mexico. And actually, we serve New Mexico. I mean, we
Absolutely.
go all the way up to Gallup and Farmington.
If there's animals that need endangered animals and things that need rescue, and so it don't matter where in the state it is, they go and get them.
Right. And we transport all over. A lot of times people will take things to the zoo, and we'll have a transport person in Roswell that will then drive them down to Carlsbad. Injured, sick, look abandoned. So we do all that. And of course, the aim is to get them back into the wild.
Yeah.
Of course, there's some that we cannot. And those of you that know us know that we have some pelicans.
Those are our education animals.
That's right. And they broke their shoulders and they cannot really fly anymore. So Mr. Peabody was flying over 285 between Carlsbad and Artesia, and it rained, and he thought the road was a pond. So he went to land and he broke his shoulder.
Found out it wasn't.
Right. And then Seymour actually did the same thing, but up in Colorado, and they were looking for a home so they could have a buddy. And we were looking for another one because we had moved Mr. Peabody to a place on property where he didn't get a lot of human contact, and he was really used to just doors opening and closing and seeing people. And it was obvious he was lonely. So we got him Seymour, and now they have their own pond and their own enclosure, and they're all just
best
fantastic.
of friends, huh?
Yep.
Good for
And
you.
they come out to educational programs. They will probably be at Art in the Park in Artesia. We have 2 different hawks. We have a raven. We have Guinevere the owl. All of these have different
All been rescued in various ways, shape, or
cannot
form.
go back to the wild, so we use them as educational birds.
But like you said, the goal is to try to get them
Yes.
back to the wild. But like you said, unfortunately, if humans are too involved or they're too injured or they can't survive on their own, then we will provide the best life we can for them at the Desert
Right.
Willow, and they get a life of pampering and pampering and entertainment as they talk with the kids.
Although we
and
do
have fun.
try to, the ones we keep as education, of course, we have to, I don't want to say tame them, but train them a little bit for the
Humanize them a
education
little
part.
bit where they're
But we
comfortable
try
on
to
humans.
try not to imprint as much as we can. So when we bring them out to an event, they were just at the Carlsbad Renaissance Fair. A lot of people say, "Oh, can I touch them? Can I pet them?" No,
They
they're
probably
not
won't
pets,
recommend it.
right?
Yeah,
It's
they're
kind
not.
of in between a pet and something in the wild. I can tell you this past year, in 2023, so far, we've served 533 birds, 109 mammals, 28 reptiles, for a total of 670. Last year, at the end of the year, our total was 591. So we're on track to go way over. We've already gone over by almost 100.
That's good and bad. Like,
yes.
it's good that you're there, but it's bad that there's that many
Well, I
in
think
need.
more people are knowing we're there, so if they find birds,
So the numbers have
or
been there. They just got a
or-
place to bring them now.
Right.
That
Now
makes
they know
sense.
where to call.
Love it.
And then, so we're always looking for volunteers. I already mentioned the transport. You can volunteer for the Roswell area. I do that because I work here. And so I'll stop by. Sometimes it's the Humane Society. Sometimes it's the zoo. I'll pick up 2, 3. I've done as many as 12 in my back seat and drive all the way to Carlsbad to take them to the hospital to see what's going on with them. If you're interested in that, give us a call because we'd love
So
that.
even some of our like zoos and things use them as a hospital for some of their animals
Yes.
and things like
and
that.
we work
Very
closely
cool.
with Alamogordo Zoo. We do work with the Roswell Zoo. There's another rescue up north, and I can't remember exactly where it's at. We volunteer there so
Okay.
that we're kind of on the same page
Partners.
as them.
Yeah.
So anyway, the main reason I'm bringing this up is not just to get awareness out there, because that's very important to us as well.
Sure.
But and we need handlers of those education birds, and we have a training program for that. But we have a gala that happens in Carlsbad. I believe it's our 4th one.
All right.
And the reason I got involved was the first year they were on your sister's show in Artesia, and they gave tickets, and I called, and no one had gotten the tickets. So Lindsay
you-
Waugh and I went.
So you went to the gala and had a good time
I
and,
did.
and said, now I'm a board member.
Yeah, 4 years later. It wasn't right away. But they do a silent auction.
Cool.
There's a nice meal. You can see all of
And
the
you're an animal
education
lover
birds.
like we
Yeah.
are, so it's
Yeah.
you love their cause. You love
And
what
so,
they do.
the 4-H is there. FFA is there. So same thing this year. It's going to be on November 9th. It is going to be at the Performing Arts Center in Carlsbad.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of fun things going on. We have a silent auction. My funny story is Lindsay and I go. I love a good silent auction.
Sure.
So we do silent auction. We eat the dinner. We get a drink or two, and there's a band playing. It's like, wow, this is really cool. And then they go, okay, time for the live auction. All right, let's start this safari at $5,000. And I'm like, and we're out. So we
You know
went
who I
home.
work for.
So we left, but I've gone every year.
That's great.
And it's just been great. It's been a lot of fun. And this year I'm helping out with some of the silent auction items.
What I really love, come and have to the gala, have fun, and
Yeah.
do all that. But what I really love about what's going on here is this is the real work getting done. Like we live in this world. You talk about the government funding and BLM doing this and doing that and making this, that, and this land, this, and all this other nonsense and all that. Throw all that crap out the window. And these are people that are boots on the ground in these places, helping animals, helping people in need. This is real work being done. Real, these are the true experts.
Right.
These
And we
are
work
the
with
players.
the BLM. We
And
have them
and-
on our board.
But they also do it the right way. And what I
Correct.
mean by that is, look, we understand the habitat and the nature of what these animals are. We're recreating it. We're not going to mess with the land to make it untouched by man, because let's face it, when they just let these forests overgrow and all this stuff because of all, now guess what? The owls don't have hunting grounds anymore.
Right.
The other things, it so messes with the ecosystem, and that's what I love. Desert willow, they get the gentle balance that is our ecosystem, and man's role is already here. So
Right.
now we have to, if we leave outright, then it's going to make it worse. We gotta be enough
and
to stay the hell out of the
industry
way.
is very supportive of us.
Yeah.
The guys sometimes will find injured animals, abandoned babies,
Yeah.
whatever.
And so I love
they
that
bring it
Desert
in,
Willow
so we
gets-
work together with them.
Gets the real ecosystem and gets, and
Yep.
so those are real people really doing beneficial things, not people talking about it in an office somewhere.
Right.
That's what I love about it. So if
So
you want to
the
come out to the
altruistic
gala
group-
and do all this, you're supporting boots on the ground money to help
Yep.
people in
And
New
I
Mexico.
would say we only have one paid employee of everyone that's there. So that's another thing. The money is going to go towards we got a pizza warmer, which sounds funny, but that's where we hatch eggs because it's a consistent heat.
And it does a good job with pizza when the eggs aren't
when we get hungry. Put the pizza on there. So we have a lot of people that have donated specific things like that. We've worked this year, the altruistic group in Artesia and the Carlsbad Lions have worked together. We did a cleanup there. And what was really great is some of our students of the month were there, and they got to do a bird release.
Cool.
We've already had a members or anyone interested in us come out, and we had a picnic. And again, we released 9 different animals that day back into the wild.
That's great.
And the next thing coming up is the gala, but that we will be helping with as well. And then in December, they're going to have an open house. So if you want to go through the hospital and see what it is and what we have. And now, of course, in December, baby season is done. You know, we must have, I can't remember how many horned owls we had this year. But Guinevere was not happy. She's the foster mama. And it was like, this picture was like, yeah.
She's like, when are these kids leaving?
Right, exactly. And we take them to Santa Fe and different places and release them. It's not all just right around here.
Coming here.
Yeah.
Because again, that messes with the ecosystem.
Right.
You got to have the balance.
If Robert comes, he's our education director, outreach director, comes to a school, you can ask them. They don't charge anything. It'd be great if you'd give us a donation. But you don't have to. They will do a release. If he has an animal ready to release, the kids will be able to do that.
Sure.
So it was really great for our students of the month to be able to do that and see that and be hands-on.
Sure.
After there was one gal of ours that all she did all day long was scoop gravel into the wheelbarrow, roll the wheelbarrow over, dump it. Wow. I mean, she just went back and forth for 2.5 hours.
That's a lot of work.
Okay, I'm giving you extra points on that scholarship, because you did a lot for us. So we're trying to be involved with everyone in Southeast New Mexico. We do sit in Carlsbad, like I say, but we are involved in all assets of
Absolutely.
it. So.
And I would invite you, if you're down Carlsbad way, going to hit the caverns and all that, go visit the Desert Willow Refuge and check it out for yourself. It's a beautiful, it's out in the desert.
We just painted the signs at our work day. We have new little stickers up so you can see where we are. I don't know this, but I hear this said a lot. It's the old zoo property.
Is that what
okay. So Sam
it's kind
or
of in
Samantha
the north
is
end
the
of
head
town.
of it.
You see it pretty easily as you come into Carlsbad there. It's one of the easier things to find in Carlsbad.
And she's our executive director. At 13 years old, she filled out the paperwork. And they gave her the permit because nowhere on there did it say, are you over 18? So they found out she was 13, and now the form does ask you your age. But it was her mom's passion and her passion. She became a veterinarian, and she's our vet that's there and our ED for the project.
Good deal.
So who knew? The free tickets to an event, and 4 years later, I am being all involved.
And I would argue the same thing. A trip to the refuge, or maybe coming to the gala, might inspire one of these young folks to be a veterinarian or some kind of conservationist, or one working with the animals in the field and doing the right things
Always
that we need
for
to do.
Volunteers and kids that are interested in that to help in the hospital.
Yeah.
But I wanted to just a few things that we're going to have at the silent auction. We have Damsel in Defense that's going to be donating. Tastefully Simple. We have homemade soaps. The Roswell Gallery is going to be doing that. There's an equine therapy session. She's in Hondo.
Oh, cool.
Sun Country and Garden, of course, in Artesia. Kith and Kin. Can't tell where I'm from. We have an international artist, Wim Boonhauer, who's going to be donating. We have tickets to Flying J Wranglers next year. We have tickets to the Spencer next year. It includes a meal.
Ooh, nice. And the meals are pretty good there, by the way.
Yeah, and we have tickets to the upcoming concert for Roswell Community Little Theater.
Nice.
And we're doing a Johnny Cash show on February 3rd, so 2 free tickets to that. Trying to see, we have a lot of artwork. A lot of artists have come out, so I really appreciate them.
Is there room for more stuff?
We have Artesia General Hospital's doing a basket.
Awesome.
There's room for a lot more.
So if someone's listening and they want to donate an item for the auction, then reach out to Lori here.
And I know that there's go on to our website, go on to Desert Willow Wildlife Rehabilitation Center, or you can go to our website, which is dwwrc.org, and you can see the big auction items that I'm not mentioning. And you can see some of these other items, I'm collecting, other people are collecting. So I only know what, and my background's the art, which is why I have all these artists.
There's going to be more.
But there's more diverse things coming. Last year we had Yeti coolers. We had guns.
So the
Benny's
experiences
Western Wear
to
donates.
the practical.
Yeah. And then there's big things like safaris and
so bigger
trips
ticket to smaller things. So a little bit for every budget.
Oh, yeah.
So if you got a little something, you're like, I just want to maybe go see a play or
And
something.
if you want to reserve a table, all that information is on the website. Tickets are $50 for individuals, $75 for couples.
Okay.
And then it goes up and how much you want to sponsor.
Good deal.
So if you are a company and you would like to have some free advertising and get some sponsorship, that would be great with us.
Yeah.
Again, go to the website. And all that information is there. The phone number's there, or you can just send a message that way.
Yeah.
Again, I'm just on the committee, but I'm here to get the word out. And it is November. I want to make sure I get the 9th, 5 to 9 in Carlsbad. So I know that's a long drive from here, but it really is for a great cause.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you just are like, you know what, I want to be a member. It's $25 to be a member for a year.
And you're supporting all the great work that's being done there.
And you're supporting all that. And if you ever wanted to come down or you're in that area and want to stop by, you can just go and do it.
And it does impact your world. Every one of it. Because
absolutely
just
does.
because it's located in Carlsbad, they are the rescue for really all of New Mexico.
I will tell you, though, and I had a rattlesnake in my backyard. Robert, our outreach coordinator, was trying to get me to save it and put it across the street.
Yeah.
I never could find it again, but I'm like, dude, if I find that thing.
Yeah. There's no
I
guarantee.
draw the line.
It infringed upon my territory.
But no, I mean, I get it. I mean, at Old Tucson Studios, they used to come through every morning and take the rattlesnakes because it sits on federal land and put them in another part of the park. And then they'd come back the next morning, and I'm like, I'm from Cleveland. We don't have these things, right? So
Like, don't do this just to have a job. Why do you do this every day?
So that's what's going on with the Wildlife Center down in Carlsbad.
Good deal.
And if you do have an injured animal or an abandoned animal, sick animal, you don't know what to do with, it is kind of not according to the law that you keep it and try to help it. It needs to go to a rehabilitation center that's licensed. So we are the closest one.
We
so
get your
please give a
heart.
card.
You're just not qualified to do what it needs to be done there. But we do appreciate your heart
But
and
if
love.
you call,
that
we'll
the
find a
experts do.
transport.
Mhm.
It may be a day or two before we get there.
Yeah.
We'll let you know when we're releasing it if we can, so
Yeah.
you can see it go. That was a cool thing. I had a girlfriend in Artesia called me. What do I do with this bird?
Yeah.
They couldn't get to it for 2 or 3 days to get it down there. We got it down there. It got healthy, and then she was able to come down and she released it back to the
cool.
wild. So yeah, we have all
Full
this kind of
circle
great stories.
moment.
Yeah, it was wonderful.
Good deal. So please reach out if you do come across. Don't try to do it yourself.
And come to the gala. If you can't come to the gala, try to be a member or just get more familiar with us. If you want a program, if you have something, I know that we're going to be at the Tuesday and Friday. We'll be at the fair.
Okay.
And I don't know what educational animals they'll be bringing, but they will be out there.
Okay.
But if you have a special event or a kids thing or a classroom or, I mean, he's
so they're
come
probably
to.
out for the kids this morning out there today, Tuesday.
Oh, it's Tuesday. He might be.
Yeah, they
You're
might be
right.
doing because they're doing like the preschool, pre-K, and all that day at the fair. So they might be with the kids right now doing
Yep,
that.
that'd be great.
Cool.
And all of our educational animals are named after like famous people like Jack Black, Guinevere from Camelot, Harrison Ford because he's a Harrison Hawk, all that kind of stuff. Mr. Peabody and Sherman. If you're old enough, you'll know who those.
I know
are.
who they are. Ask your parents.
Right, but we need volunteers, we need support, and the community has always been very giving and very generous. So,
And they do great work here and great. So
and you'll have a great time at the event. There's entertainment.
And if you can't remember the website and everything, just Google Desert Willow Wildlife Rescue, Carlsbad, New
we
Mexico.
also have a Facebook page. You can go on there, and it is in Carlsbad.
Yeah, and that way, if you don't remember all the dots and dashes.
Oh,
you
it's
can,
a long name.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought when I type out Best Shots Productions, that was long.
If you get
So I
Desert
got
Willow Wildlife and Carlsbad all in the search, I think you'll
Right.
find exactly what you need. in
Right.
there, so. And it should pop right up, and then you can bookmark it and go back.
It took me a long time to figure out it was rehabilitation center, not rescue center.
Yeah.
But that's all right. You'll find it. I found it.
Desert Willow, Wildlife, Carlsbad. That'll get you what you need.
Right. You got it.
Good deal. Is anything else we need to talk about? Did we get everything, or is there something
Everything
else?
for the wildlife.
Okay, what's next that we want to cover?
Well, I just wanted to mention Roswell Community Little Theater has a show coming up called Farce of Habit. It is October 13th through the 15th, which is next weekend, I believe.
And you put it together. Comedy and nuns. That's what it is.
Right.
Farce Habit.
And this is what I wrote down. Nuns, axe murderer, undercover police, can outfit.
Ooh.
Put it all together.
Yeah. I'm thinking if you loved like their 40 Broads shows,
Oh, yeah. Mhm.
then you're going to love this one. It's right in the same vein as far as comedy and lightheartedness and all.
So that will run for 2 weekends, but it does open on the 13th. It was funny. I was looking at my calendar and I'm like, well, the 13th is a Wednesday. I was still in September.
It's October. It's on a Friday.
Right. After that, they're going to do, again, this year, I think it's the third year they've done Santa's Talent Show.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
At least third
so
or fourth
that's
year. Yeah.
November 30th at 7:30.
So
General
start
admissions
thinking
5.
about your acts, the singing, comedy, bands, dance. It's like America's Got Talent. What you got, bring it on. It's family friendly, obviously, and obviously in the confines of the theater. We don't want nobody shooting out of a cannon or nothing like that.
And I don't know what this means, and I'm sorry, but I do want to mention there are VIP tickets for $10.
Okay.
There wasn't a lot of information on that. You can, if you're interested, start sending your video submissions to the Roswell Little Theater. You can get that address at RoswellTheater.com. Right, but what do you always say?
Oh, spell it like live theater, THEATRE, not the eater like you spell your movie theater.
Correct.
Which is a great way to spell movie theater. If you don't remember how to spell it, the eater. That's how you spell
The
it.
eater, that's right. So go online. You can find out all the information about that, but they are there will be live auditions. That's TBA. So keep your eyes open for that. And then in February, as I mentioned, we are doing February 3rd. It is a Saturday at 2 and 6 o'clock. We will be doing a tribute to Johnny Cash.
Nice.
This gentleman has done $1 Million Quartet. If you don't know what that show is, there was a quartet that met in Memphis at Sun Recording Studio one time. And it was Johnny Cash, Elvis Presley, Perkins, and I want to say Buddy Holly were the four. Again, $1 Million Quartet. Right.
Nice.
So that actually happened, and they wrote a musical about it. This gentleman has been on the national tour now for years. Every
Somebody
time
playing
it
the
goes
Johnny
out.
Cash role in the musical.
Johnny Cash, he's
the
also
Millionaire
done
Quartet.
Elvis Presley.
Oh, he's got a little Elvis in him too, huh?
So
That's a bit of
he wrote
range.
his own show about Johnny Cash, and so he's coming. He directed Ring of Fire, which is another musical about Johnny Cash.
Not a heartburn medicine.
For me. In 2011-ish. So that's how long he's been
So
doing
he's kind of
Johnny
living
Cash.
and imbibing the whole Johnny Cash.
Oh, he thinks he he is definitely vibing. Johnny
He walks
Cash.
around going, "I'm Johnny Cash."
Yeah. So anyway, that will be February 3rd, and when we get closer, we'll give you a phone number, and you can get your tickets.
Yeah.
We'll have VIP tickets again.
Yeah, it'll be a
gonna
lot of
great time. Great fundraiser for Roswell Community Little Theater.
Yeah, keep the roof repaired and keep the shows going and all the stuff that because everything they do, they got a board and everything, and they really they when they bought the old movie theater here a dozen years ago, whenever that was, they really
they're very active.
Yeah.
They also have the immersive dinner coming up.
Mm-hmm. Almost every one of their plays, they usually have an immersive dinner leading up to it.
They just did your favorite. They just did an improv show.
I love the improv. They do them like once a quarter on average.
Mm-hmm. They just did
And
one in September.
Friday nights. It's a Friday night, and it's just like if you watch the TV show Whose Line Is It Anyway, where it's literally a live theater version of that.
Right.
And it's a lot of fun where the audience gets to participate and shout out things, and they'll like the moderator will generally say, "Hey, I need a profession," and then someone will yell out, waiter, cop,
So it's
whatever.
interactive.
It is. Yeah.
I know they've asked me to join. I'm like, see, I don't do improv. I want to know what's coming next. I don't want to have to.
And I could probably be better at improv. My problem is my filter.
Yeah. Well, that's
what
right.
I find is funny.
Maybe they should not do. They should just say it's not. When you're in it,
Yeah.
it can be X-rated.
What I find funny is not always what other people find funny.
Oh, my brother says it all the time. He goes, I find myself hilarious, but no one else does half the time.
So I'll say things that I'm like, I get it, laugh, and they're like, Oh, that was a little dark from your end, huh? All right, sorry about that.
Last thing I want to bring up is Kiwanis. Hey,
Yes.
the park is up. Woo, woo!
Love it.
So we're getting ready to do, we're making our plaques and getting the final touches.
Sure.
And the gateway is going up and
Making
all
it
that.
official.
Yes.
But as far as a functioning park, it is a functioning
It is
park
a functioning park. You can take your children there. It's an all-inclusive park, meaning all children.
now. Yeah, it's not
Doesn't
just
matter.
for people on the spectrum.
Right.
It's for any kid that wants to play on a playground.
Exactly. And it's just the start. We're hoping that and then now we will start working on phase 2. And we've talked to the city with that as well. So Kiwanis, if you'd like to be a part of that and other things that we do, we meet on the 1st and 3rd Tuesday of the month. Today is the 1st.
I was going to say,
we will be there
today.
at noon, and we meet at Cerritos. The first 2 times you come, we pick up your lunch. So if you're interested in helping out, we're getting really
taco
close
lunch.
to announce our big party for we didn't get to celebrate our centennial because it was during COVID.
Yeah, COVID put a damper on a lot of things. And
So we're getting ready to celebrate that, and we will be inviting community and everyone to come out. So we'll be back on, I'm sure, to talk about that. But
by
if
the
you wanna
way,
be
at the
part of
gala, they're
club-
going to serve pancakes. I'm just kidding.
That pancake dinner, I'm telling you, bane of my existence. So that's another little thing. So I do Kiwanis here. I do Altrusa there.
Come out to the meeting today.
Wildlife over there. Yeah, come out today.
If you're
Noon.
interested.
Cerritos.
That's right.
Come see us.
It's like if you first time, and now pick up your tacos day. So get Taco Tuesday early.
Yeah.
Because later today, Cerritos is going to be packed to the gills with the taco eaters for Taco Tuesday.
Oh, yeah.
Because they
And
always
now
do
you're allowed to say Taco Tuesday.
Yeah.
John Tacos or whatever dropped the lawsuit out east or whatever it was.
I'm good to do that. But and they always do their little contest where you guess the number of tacos they sold the week before, and if the closest wins free tacos, I think. So get there early today.
Right.
Come to the Kiwanis meeting, and then you can get your taco
Then you can
on.
hang around all day and eat tacos.
And then get you just slowly go into oblivion as you consume taco after taco.
And then go out and see the birds
Yes.
at the.
If you have any questions about the Kiwanis stuff, you can go to the Kiwanis of Roswell Facebook page and shoot a message there. Roswell Communal Theater, like you said, roswelltheater.com, spell theater like live theater.
And they also have Facebook.
And just type in Roswell Communal Theater on Facebook. It pops right up, and you can like and follow that. And if you have questions or want more information, you can always shoot a message, and someone will get to you pretty quick on that. They've got a pretty steady group of people that moderate that page. So. Good deal. Did we get it all?
I think I got it all.
Sweet. So come on out. Get ready to eat food and dance and have fun to save the animals. Come out and enjoy some plays, and of course,
Brother cousins. What are they? Beer cousins? You know what I'm talking about? No, that's the band that's going to be at our gala.
Oh, okay.
I'll find out their exact something cousins.
all right. Sean would know him better. He's more knowledgeable
Beer
about the music
cousins.
than I have.
They're people in Carlsbad know. I mean, you say their name and they're like, woo,
Well,
they're always at Milton.
If cousin's in your band name, you can automatically expect a certain type of musical.
Yeah.
Just saying. So good with banjos. Thank you, Lori.
You're welcome, I think.
It is 9:51. We're going to pause for news and all that. Don't go away.
Now for your Pecos Valley News Update, I'm Jared Cirillo. Sad news to pass along today as we learn that local philanthropist and beloved Artesia resident Mac Chase has died. He was 92 years old. The Chase family issued a statement Monday morning that announced Mac's passing. The family said his legacy will live on forever and that the family is deeply grateful for the community's thoughts and prayers during this difficult time. The statement said a funeral service and arrangements are pending and would be announced as soon as they become available. The American Planning Association New Mexico chapter will hold its annual statewide conference in Roswell the third week of this month. The Roswell Convention Center will be the primary venue for the 4-day event beginning October 17th. Anyone can attend, but registration is required. This year's topic will be New Mexico's response to a changing climate. It's described as an interdisciplinary gathering of planners, landscape architects, engineers, conservation professionals, nonprofits, economic development organizations, and universities, among others. More details online at newmexico.planning.org. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo.
Your morning cup of Sean. This is the Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
And conservatism is what? What do we want? We want less government in our lives, limited government. We want the lowest taxes possible. We want to end the burdensome bureaucracy that is a stranglehold on business. We want secure borders. We want energy independence. We want those high-paying career jobs in the energy sector. We want constitutional justices. People want and deserve cities and towns that are safe and secure. We believe in law and we believe in order. We believe that if our public schools are failing our kids at a spectacular level, our kids deserve better. We want safe schools and we want good schools. It's pretty simple.
The Conservative Underground meets later today on the Sean Hannity Show.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Are you tired of watching your stock market swinging back and forth and your money with it? Now, the stock market is more volatile than ever. Want to weather today's economic uncertainty? Say goodbye to the wild shifts in your portfolio? You deserve an investment that delivers consistent monthly returns and is built on solid American ground. And Phoenix Capital Group is now offering high-yield corporate bonds to investors with returns now of 9 to 13% annual interest paid monthly. Now, these are corporate bond offerings available to both accredited and non-accredited investors. Join thousands of satisfied investors who are paid on time every time. You can learn more about their investment offerings today when you go to phoenixonhannity.com. Now gain the confidence you need for your financial future today. It's important you understand before making any investment decision, you should carefully consider or review any and all risk involved. Just visit phoenixonhannity.com today. Get all that information you want. phoenixonhannity.com.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Pretty warm today. Sunshine with high pressure moving in for a little while. It might be breezy. Our afternoon high will be in the upper 80s. For the overnight hours, maybe a few clouds, upper 50s and low 60s. We do have a little system moving back in on Wednesday. Could bring us a few showers. Mix of sunshine and clouds, and we'll stay in the mid 80s. We're back to sunny weather on Thursday, low 80s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason. Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell got an earful from small business people while visiting York, Pennsylvania.
Federal Reserve officials typically gather many of their insights and observations about the economy from some of the top economists in Washington. However, Powell heard from small business people who are grappling personally with inflation, high interest rates, labor shortages, and other challenges of the post-pandemic economy. They told Powell they are still having trouble finding all the workers they need. Higher interest rates have discouraged some of them from expanding.
And that's correspondent Jeremy House reporting. A sell-off at mid-morning on Wall Street, the benchmark sharply lower. The market is preparing for a slew of employment data later in the week. And that includes the government's monthly jobs report for September. That report is due out on Friday. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason.
A good night's sleep is so important, and issues like sleep apnea make falling asleep and staying asleep nearly impossible, but we can help. I'm Dr. Sarah Usher at Carabelli Dental. With the help of a simple oral appliance, your sleepless nights could be a thing of the past. But don't take my word for it, just ask Lainey.
My name is Lainey Smith. I wasn't surprised when I found out I had sleep apnea simply because I had a horrible sleep pattern. I attempted to use the machine and it drove me nuts and I could not sleep with it. And then that's when Dr. Agger told me about the oral appliance. I would suspect I've been using it for 2 years now. In all of that time, I've had less than 10 poor nights of sleep. It's a complete game changer. I feel a lot better because I sleep.
This simple appliance can change your life. Call us today to set up your appointment so you can finally get the good night's sleep you need.
Come see the team at Carabelli Dental at the corner of 9th and Main in Roswell or call 575-622-4455.
So you think drinking alcohol can't hurt you? It'll mess you up big time. Say adios to large chunks of your brain. Major damage is already being done. Other parts of your body are getting wrecked too. Forget about sports, forget about school, forget about doing much of anything. Underage drinking freaks out your body, messes up your life.
Sponsored by the NMDOT.
On air and online, this is Roswell's home for talk radio. KEND Roswell.
And good morning. It is closing in on 9:58. We're about done here. We got about a minute or two here before we wrap up the show. If you missed any part of our show, you can always check it out at your leisure. Just log on to ksvptv.com. Click on the Mornings with Mike Winters channel, and you'll find all of our interviews there. Or you can go to our 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM Facebook wall, and you'll see all of our interviews. You just got to scroll to find them. So if it's an older interview, you're going to do more scrolling. If it's a newer interview, it's closer to the top. But for today, we had Robert Sherman in the 7 o'clock hour join us from Walker Aviation Museum, and we talked a little bit about Museum Day that was a couple weeks ago. Talked a little bit about obviously all the things that they do, and of course the tech side, STEM, and teaching flight simulators and all that stuff too. So if you are like, wait, flight simulators, what are you talking about? Go back and listen to that interview. You'll be interested. In the 8 o'clock hour, we had the ladies from the Chaves County Health Council join us talking about the suicide prevention event they've got planned on October 10th. It's called Talk to Save Lives. It's the first annual Suicide Awareness and Prevention Conference. It's going to be taking place on the 10th, next Tuesday. Starts at 6 p.m., doors open at 5:30, and it will be at the Encanto Center, which is at on the south end, 1010 South Main Street here in Roswell. Call 211 if you have any questions. That's the health hotline here. If you have any questions about the event, want more information, just call 211, and they'll be happy to give that to you. And then, of course, at this hour, just a few minutes ago, we had Lori Schatz join us talking Kiwanis Club, the Desert Willow, wildlife rehabilitation, and, of course, also Roswell Communal Theater. So all that there for you to check out, ksvptv.com. All right, that's going to do it for us. Have an amazing day. We'll be back bright and early, 7 a.m. tomorrow. You're listening to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico. Take care, everybody.
Breaking news this hour at townhall.com.